Okay. 2, 1. All right. So today we are going to be playing our new game, Maschine Zeit, which releases in October, which is next month. God, that's coming up too quickly. And we are going to be playing it with a couple of friends. So first off, introducing ourselves. This is Olivia Hill. I'm going to be narrating the game, essentially. I'm the director for today. You'll probably hear my voice quite a bit. Mina, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mina. I'm one of the co-creators. I'm Liv's wife, and I'm probably the one who's shitposting in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's she is acting producer for the video feed right now. Then Brian.
Hello, I'm Brian. I am a friend of Liv's and Mina's, and also the person to my right, who is...
Hi, I'm Sacha. Most people know me as Marley online, so if you see my name, go back and forth, don't get confused. But yeah, I'm friends with these lovely folks, and they invited me to come out and chat this fair game.
Okay. And this is so we're here in Tokyo, and we are going to be playing this. I know that it's holy crap o'clock where you're from, but for us, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sweet middle of the day.
Yeah.
And this is Respect for the Age Day?
It is.
Yeah.
Respect for the Age Day.
So we are being respectful to the elderly by not...
eating fine cheddar, yes.
By not being at work.
Yes.
Yeah. Because today is a Monday, but it's a national holiday in Japan.
Yeah.
Respect for the Age Day is, they have some, I don't want to say weird holidays, but they have some really arbitrary ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have like Mountain Day and Ocean Day and shit like that.
Well,
they just make them sometimes.
Well, you know where they came from, right?
Huh.
They used to be an emperor's birthday.
Oh, right.
And once he's not in charge anymore, then they turn it into some other random thing.
Yeah. So that's where we get Respect for the Age Day, probably. I don't know. He was probably old when he died.
I think they all are.
So anyway, we're going to be doing Maschine Zeit. Maschine Zeit is a horror game, a horror RPG. And it runs a little differently than your average adventure game, like your Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. But it's pretty simple, so we're gonna kind of learn together. And by learn together, I mean I'm gonna teach them together because I wrote some of the rules and Mina wrote some of the others, and it would be really stupid for us to learn at this point.
Well, hopefully
we already know.
Figured out the whole system.
So Brian and Sacha are new to it. But the type of story that we're doing is it's what we call ghost stories on space stations. It's the type of movie where you have a small cast and they are alone in a place that they probably shouldn't be, being killed by things that they don't understand. So that's Maschine Zeit, and we're getting it out in time for Halloween, so you guys can all do Halloween one-shots. I'll go over the background of the story in a second too. Let's see. I'll just read that live, I guess, because while people come in.
Mm-hmm.
So, in 2055, we discovered stable fusion and essentially lossless battery technology. Right as we came upon a new technological renaissance, a plague hit. We called it the airline flu. Some 5 to 10% of the human population died within a year, with almost all the deaths occurring in major metropolitan areas. The death toll was upward of 1 billion when all was said and done, and the spread shut down most international travel. Scientists in Delhi proposed a solution. They would create a space station tethered to the Earth by enormous cables. This would help them divide the population and manage the spread of infection while still maintaining population density. This catapulted India to the front of economic power as the world wished to share in their revolutionary engineering. Other nations proposed space stations and space elevator projects. Thanks to the crippling austerity measures all over the world, the United States suffered the first calamity when the Longhorn platform fell to Earth, killing millions. Longhorn being in Texas.
Of course.
Yeah. With the discovery of a principle called the Ebersbach effect, nations became more and more able to manufacture on the stations on massive scale with little cost and energy. This made stations more desirable and viable. In 2087, as much as 15% of the human population lived on these station experiments. Stations became the history's biggest fad. Almost all entertainment media came from these stations. Station residency waiting lists exceeded normal human lifespans in some cases. Then the famine hit. Crops all over the world started dying, falling to resistant disease. Media theorists claim that the agricultural megacorporation Abundance International was responsible for the famine. Somehow, station crop systems were not victim to these diseases. This made station life even more desirable as swaths of the population suffered malnutrition and starvation from famine conditions. During the protests, Abundance International private security forces slaughtered thousands of protesters worldwide. The United Nations afforded special dispensation to Abundance to police its own interests as the protests grew beyond the scope of mundane military. In 2105, the cataclysm struck. Cosmic radiation from a gamma ray burst devastated the stations. Within hours, many stations fell or went dead. Between the billion dead on the stations and another 500 million on Earth from prolonged radiation exposure, humanity fell into a dark age. Later in 2105, a group of scientists exploring station wreckage for answers claimed to have found ghosts, specters, echoes of those who died on the station. Most of the scientists died. Some came back barely coherent. Their report, the Anderson Report, claimed that the station itself was possessed, that machinery itself came alive to terrorize and slaughter them. World governments did everything in their power to silence the Anderson Report. However, independent media pushed the Anderson Report to the public eye. Everyone worldwide had access to the report, and while thanks to corporate media, most of the world wrote it off as a hoax, many remained skeptical, curious, and demanded answers. In 2108, salvagers on a mission to station wreckage found a mysterious metal warped by the radiation. This miracle metal, called new promethium, appeared to generate energy in defiance of the conservation of mass and energy. Over the following years, scientists repeatedly tested new promethium, continually failing to debunk the initial findings. This rare metal began appearing on other station wreckage, causing a sort of gold rush for the remarkably valuable substance. Every now and again, a salvage or exploration crew would disappear, simply falling out of contact and vanishing without a trace. Sometimes these crews would send frantic, pleading, desperate messages back to Earth before their disappearances. Now, groups travel to the station wreckage for new promethium, to uncover the truth about the ghosts, to identify the dead, to break through the corporate media spin, or simply to brave certain death for a rush in 15 minutes of fame. So I ask, why are you traveling today? So that's the basics. We are going to be playing people who are going up to one of these stations, these derelict stations, to explore. And as a part of the process, we're going to determine why.
Tacos, obviously.
Space tacos. So, there are two roles in Maschine Zeit. The first is the director. The second are the actors. The director is kind of like the GM role in a traditional RPG, except with a slightly more muted role. My job as director is going to be to foster the awesomeness of the players, to help them do cool things, and to help them sort of learn the game so they can take over the narrative. At a certain point, if I have deemed it necessary, I will just drop that role and I will become an actor too. The game doesn't always need a director. So the actors, on the other hand, they're going to be doing a lot of different stuff. They're mostly going to be playing their leads, but they're also going to be helping to narrate. And I'm going to quickly go over the expectations for these two roles, because this is sort of an intro to the game for everyone. So the things that are expected of the director: I am supposed to help to adjudicate dice rolls and interpret the rules. Notice I'm adjudicating and interpreting. I am not going to do a lot of answering unless people are really confused. I'm just here to help. I'm supposed to ask leading questions. because I want them to dig in a little further. I don't want their answers and the things that they're doing to just happen in a vacuum. I want them to build on everything that they're doing. I am supposed to describe off-camera situations. Anything that the players' characters, the actors' leads, do not see that we want to see as the audience of the show, the movie, I will describe that. That's like we see the alien around the corner slobbering while watching them, but they are unbeknownst.
Dramatic irony.
Yeah, dramatic irony.
Yep.
I will portray any additional characters that I need to. There shouldn't be many. I will call scenes. One thing that we are supposed to do in Maschine Zeit is call scenes quick, like cut them. We don't want them to run on extra long because the game is supposed to go a little bit quick, and also, you know, we want dramatic tension. We don't want long, extended shopping sequences. That's a different game. And planned obsolescence. The director's role is supposed to make themselves obsolete. I'm supposed to make myself no longer have a job. I'm like people who invent automation or something. I don't know. There's got to be some social or political commentary in there. So let's see. Then the actors. The actors are expected a few things. The first off is the actors are supposed to be aware of their lead's arc. They don't have to make a convoluted background or anything. They're going to make pretty quick characters, but they need to be aware of where they want them to go. And that way we can work on that and try to accomplish that during the scope of the game. And we can also make for sure that things don't inhibit that. Second thing they're supposed to do, give 75%, take 25%. Everyone is supposed to foster each other and make each other's actions cooler. Think about it in terms of like a Survivor Girl horror movie, where most of the cast exists to bolster the one character, except everyone is doing that for everyone else. Then the next step, volunteer to play supporting cast. Anytime there's like an NPC or a nondescript character in the story and they want to take that character over, they can do that instead of the director. They are supposed to ask forgiveness of the rules and permission of the players. I want them to jump in. As soon as they think that they know a rule, roll with it. Don't ask me a lot of questions, just go. It's better to figure that out on the back end. But the players, on the other hand, we are supposed to ask permission of them, because you're supposed to be aware of your character's arc. So whenever you're going to do something that affects the other characters, you want to consult with that player, because ultimately they're the arbiter of that arc. So, you know, if you're running through the hallway, it's really clever to say, okay, well, I'm going to trip my friend so the ghost can get them. But that might not be very good for their story, so ask them, talk to them, because we're building a collaborative horror story. Next, don't be afraid to live and die. So don't be afraid to live. Be bold. Don't worry about it. Do the thing that you want to do. This is a movie where we want the extremes to come out. We want drama. We want action. We want coolness to happen. But also, don't be afraid to die. It's a horror movie. Most of these movies, one person, if that, survives at the end. You know, some of the best ones, nobody does. I mean, who knows? But the fact of the matter is, we've got to be able to throw our characters on the pyre, proverbially, literally. We don't know. And then lastly, they're supposed to make me irrelevant. They make the director irrelevant. In a perfect game, about halfway through, the director should be able to step back and become an actor and just have a character ready. So if that happens, great. If that doesn't happen, also great. Doesn't matter. We start with the director because the director's useful at first, but we get rid of the director once the director stops being useful. Okay. So, everyone, you guys have an idea of what we're doing as far as the story goes. You guys have the background of the world. We know it's about 100 years from now. Not quite 100 years from now. And, yeah, we're trying to explore a station. So let's talk for a couple seconds about why we would want to explore one of these stations. Anything jump to mind that you would like to explore?
Money.
Money? Okay, Brian wants cash money.
Cash money, dollar bills.
Cash money for Brian. Sacha, Also money or other things?
Answers.
Answers. Mina.
Let's go with, as tempting as space tacos are, I'm gonna go with fame.
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 I don't even have a good sigil for that.
Just put the Instagram thing on there.
Yeah.
That's an info thing. I don't
Can
know.
you freehand Instagram?
I don't even know. I can't even remember what the app badge looks like. Okay. So we have money, answers, and fame. That's good. That's good. That's a good start. And that'll be good enough to found our group here. I'm just now reading what Mina wrote on the board.
It turns out I can shitpost on the whiteboard and in the chat.
Okay.
Simultaneously.
They've had plenty of time.
Alright, that's good.
And of course I was going to do that.
Yeah. We just throwing shit all over, that's all.
Whiteboard markers were meant for the floor.
It's so
Yeah. I don't know how that's true, but it is.
true. Oh, it is.
We make it true. I guess you guys are all teachers, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone but me right now is a teacher. Okay.
The whiteboard.
Yeah, so
Oh,
yeah, basically I am putting them through trauma, making them deal with whiteboards on their day off.
It's a good setting for a horror story.
Okay. So,
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. People are saying that the alert when people log in and follow and stuff is real loud.
oh, is it?
Yeah, and I don't know where that function is, but I want to turn it down.
Maybe right click on the thing that says alert box.
Alert box. Right clicking. Properties.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's try that one.
I mean, you could also like kill it.
Go to widget settings.
Yeah, I mean, or you can go to widget settings, I'm sure.
Oh, it's real loud apparently.
Yeah.
Shit.
You can remove it. It's not a big deal.
How do I do that?
You would go back to your editor,
Okay.
and then you would right click on it, and then delete it, remove it, whatever. Yeah, remove.
The one
Down.
that starts with an
There.
R?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The other one. Yeah. Okay. So that shouldn't happen anymore.
Okay. Alright, cool.
Yeah. So Joe's asking if the Discord syncs to Twitch. I think it's supposed to be able to, but I don't know how yet. I want to do that integration, but no idea. Okay. So the character sheet. I should have given you an image for that. If you want to add that, you can to show everyone.
Yes.
So go ahead and do a plus, and add an image. Okay, add source, and then add new source. Then browse, and then let me see for a second.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna get the character sheet up so you guys can see it. Okay. Well, that'll work. You just have to resize it. Can you do that for me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're gonna get that so it's visible on the screen.
Maybe.
There we go.
No, maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's just gonna move it around a whole bunch, basically.
I'm sure shake the mouse until something happens.
Okay. All right. So there's the character sheet. Yeah, the new sheet looks really good. It's way simplified. The old version of the sheet was a little too clunky. The one thing that I liked about the old one is that it was landscape, but I felt that this one worked better this way. So, yeah. And yeah, I think it is more evocative of the game. And it also, it presents a really easy, accessible way to do things. And I guess Brian and Sacha haven't even seen it yet. So let me pull that up real quick.
What do you guys need to see character sheets for?
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to be making characters
Shaw.
off of their own like sense of things. I don't know, but we will
It's
work.
alright. I can do it. I can do it.
Okay. File. I'm gonna do character. All right, so this is the character sheet right here. Okay, in the center of the character sheet, this is the primary shit that you have to pay attention to.
Okay.
We have what are called universal elements, which are id, ego, and superego. That's the Freudian ones. The thing about Maschine Zeit is that it's a science fiction game, but it's soft science fiction. We don't really care about real science. We care about awesome things in space, and we care about what feels good. It's gut science. And id, ego, and superego make plenty of sense. For those of you who haven't done basic like 101 psychology, id is like your lizard brain. It is your sort of survival instinct. It's the selfish self. It's the thing that basically Donald Trump has in troves and nothing else. So ego is sort of your own sense of sort of conscious right and wrong, or conscious awareness of the world around you. I've heard it. I don't know that there's a better way to describe that, honestly.
Ego?
Yeah, ego?
Ego is yourself, right?
Yeah, ego is the self, but the aware self.
Your inner voice.
Yes, it's your inner voice. Whereas superego is your outer voice. Superego is sort of your cultural, contextual voice.
This is your nagging aunt.
Yeah.
I don't know how to spell aunt. I know.
A-U-N-T, right?
No. Nagging, and then I freaked myself out.
And then, of course, okay, so it is your lizard brain. It is your super selfish internal thoughts.
But as someone said in the chat, it is your space lizard brain for this purposes.
Yeah, it is your space lizard brain. So it's like a lizard brain, except it has a bubbly space helmet. Okay. And so those are going to have, they sort of have ratings. They have points that you spend, which are 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, 25. You're ultimately going to be picking which one is your top one, middle one, and shitty one. The shitty one won't have as many points. The second one will not quite have as many points. And the best one will have all of the points. And you're basically spending these and sort of risking these to play the game. Second thing that you have are what we call personal elements. Personal elements are things that are going to help describe you. There's 3 kinds of personal elements. And those 3 kinds of personal elements are descriptions, which can just be adjectives. Things like adaptable, heartless, open-minded, that sort of shit. Something that describes your character. Skill sets are the second type of element, and that is expressed in the form of a job. So it might be like athlete, lobbyist, thief, yoga instructor, anything that is a job. That doesn't necessarily have to be your character's job, but it's a job that your character could do. And you have skills within that skill set. And then what we have are called world elements, which are things that tie you to the world around you. That's things like your faith. That's things like political aspirations, true love, a wish for a glorious death, a loving son back home. It can be other people, it can be organizations, or it can just be your relationship to the world around you.
What was the other one called?
Those are called world elements.
No, the first one.
Oh, the first one is description elements.
Everybody's waiting to see what I'm going to write. That's
Oh, well, they can't see. Yeah, they can't see because it's a character sheet. So can you move it over?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you can just move it all the way over.
Okay. Who gives a shit about the chat?
Yeah.
That chat. There's the other chat. The cool chat is
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. So those are your personal elements, and you're going to get 3 of those. You're going to make 3 of those as you make your character. You're going to have what are called dramatic elements, which are just points. Basically, everyone is going to get 3. So I'll just give you guys those now. Those are tokens that you guys can spend. And anytime you use them, they will add 25% to your roll, because everything is going to be percentage based. That's pretty easy though, 25%. And then we have what are called plot elements. I'm going to keep those to a minimum this time, but plot elements are unique things that sort of give more focus to the game. They're oftentimes unique from a mechanical perspective. They change the rules a little bit. But we're not going to fuck too much with those today. And also in the full game, you'll have what are called genotype elements, which some people have sort of mutated and changed, and they might have like psychic powers or something like that. And those are genotype elements. They're just a type of plot element.
In the setting, a lot of people who were on the stations or near the stations when they crashed, they got superpowers, but then they usually also got like super cancer.
Yeah, super cancer. So that's that. And then we also have another mechanic called advanced plot elements, which are elements that you can only take after the first play session if you play a sequel, like if you play multiple games. So the example that I give in the book is alien. You're an alien. You are not a human being. You are from an extraterrestrial species. The requirement for taking that, though, is that we already had to have played a game, and we already had to have established that aliens exist. And so if we establish that aliens exist in the next session, you could play one. And so, okay, 1 second here. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to have you guys do your character sheets on the board.
Cool.
And we're only going to focus on a few of the aspects of the play, the elements. Yeah, I guess we can get rid of those. This thing is magnetically attracted to the board, and that's very weird. Yeah, it like drags a little bit. It's got a little weight to it.
Yeah, they asked if it's the Larry and Barry Lux's cancer guys from Fury Road.
Oh, yeah, something like that, yeah. Or reverse Deadpool.
Reverse Deadpool.
Like
yeah.
they got
Reverse
cancer
Deadpool.
because of their powers. They didn't get their powers because of the cancer. Okay, so the things that you're going to want to jot down here, take a pen. You'll want to put space for your id, ego, and superego with a little bit of space to the right of it because we're going to mark off traits as we go.
Should we try to draw the circle?
No.
Okay.
No, you can just do them id, ego, superego, like chart them easy. Do S ego.
Well,
What?
I'm trying to decide which order my character would value those things.
Oh, you're gonna put them in the order physically.
Can I just have ego, ego, and ego?
No.
Oh, okay. Let's go with super ego then. No, that's dumb.
What?
You can't be a coward if you don't have id second.
That's true.
Sorry, make your audio.
No.
Whatever.
Every time I laugh. This one says no. I want circles.
He's gonna have.
I demand circles.
Yeah, reverse Deadpool does sound like a good evening out.
Isn't there a subliminal ego?
Super duper ego.
Oh no.
I think we need to take up these suggestions for alternate stats up with Freud.
You know, it's funny, every time you show the character sheet, somebody has to tell you about how they don't like Freud.
Yeah.
And for me, like, it's
I like
almost,
that. That's a bug.
It's
or
a
feature.
It's a feature.
It's a feature.
It's almost like a a psychological experiment. Like, who's gonna first tell me that they don't like Freud?
I mean, let's. Is there an Austrian station?
Yeah.
Let's take this meta.
Let's go all the way up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so Brian's actually drawing the thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sometimes a character sheet is just a character sheet.
Find an order and then I'm gonna decide.
Yeah. Kill your players, marry the demon.
Ooh, Sacha, can you put yours up a little bit? I'm sorry.
Yes, please tell me.
Yeah.
If
You
it's
basically.
too far to the edge.
Can I see real quick?
Make me a line. So I don't disappear.
Oh, nope, that's not it.
That's not it.
I was under the logo. Okay.
That'll do.
There's your line.
Cool.
Keep above that.
I got my point of demarcation here.
There you go.
Yep.
That's actually, it's a pretty good measure.
Yeah, I like that.
A Freudian trip over an errant phallus and fall down the stairs. His cigar explodes comically in his mouth. That's how we do it meta.
Sure. Okay. We have our stats. Now you're going to prioritize these. First, second, third. The first one will have the full allotment of points, which is 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, and 25. So it'll have a total of 6 things to put there.
How do we do that quick?
I would say just jot them down. So like.
So this is our array, essentially?
Yeah, that's the shit that you have to spend on that stat. That's the stuff you'll be able to use when using that stat.
And actually, if anything, it's probably good to just make them as blocks, like on your to-do list, because
Yeah.
I know you guys all
Yeah.
bullet journal like I do.
Of course.
So there's 10.
Yeah.
15,
Thank you. 15.
20,
20. And this is for your primary. You don't have to do as many for the other ones.
25. There's 3 25s.
Okay. 25. 25 and 25.
Sure.
I'm taking up all the space.
That's fine. We'll make it work.
Damn it, Brian. Yeah. Show us all up.
Always.
But can he make numbers that small?
Probably.
Readable to your audience? No.
Whatever.
Let's see.
Wait, people on the internet can't read. That's like pretty much science. Sorry, guys. And how many of the other 2 do you have?
Okay, the other 2, the id you have, or the second one, you're going to have 10, 15, 20, 25. You only have 1 25. You don't have the other 2 25s.
Okay. So the second one, just up to the first 25.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, write that over here. Second. Because I figured this out. Okay.
And then the third one doesn't go to, or only gets 10 and 15.
Fuck, that's super ego.
And basically, the way that these work is that you're literally spending these as resources. So like whenever you're using your ego, in Mina's case, you have those available. You could use the 10s, the 25s, the 20s, whatever, however you want to do it. You will get them back through play, but that's how you do it. Okay. And Flighty is good.
We didn't-
You can see it enough.
We didn't warn our poor guests that indeed they were going to have to come here and write neatly on a whiteboard for the internet to see.
It's part of the fun.
It was surprise.
Surprise!
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go this way.
And the thing is that whenever you play tabletop games at home, you have players who do these things. It's just that now you get to see it live.
So you're...
Your first one, you get whichever one's your top, you're gonna get the whole.
Yeah, all of them.
Got it.
The second one, you get up to the first 25.
Correct.
Okay, second one, third one, 15. Okay. Just trying to decide
Third
which
one-
one I want to...
Yeah, you don't get as much.
The writing is very limited,
Yeah,
Tara.
that's a good idea.
You will ultimately be writing 3 traits. I think that's about it.
I'm going to go for loud here. What's loud?
Loud,
Yeah.
id,
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
I would say. It's probably.
Would I
I mean, you
be
can do it anyway.
Well, I mean, ego could work, but it could be just like the I don't have floodgates. It
Yeah.
just does not occur to me that this is not socially acceptable.
Yeah, the cool thing about the way that we're approaching it with the id ego super ego thing is that you can pretty much argue however you want, and it doesn't really matter. You ultimately have the same resources regardless of how you pick them. This just helps you sort of define how your character behaves. It's just for context.
Cool.
And I'm sorry, for the last one, you only have 10 and 15?
Where does it go? ahead?
Yeah, 10 and 15.
Okay,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, no, just 10 and 15.
So that's 20.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, if you think about it, like, you can look at it right now. Your third thing, you're probably not going to be using it very much. If you are using it, you're desperate because it just doesn't have the points available. So that means that you're going to drive your character's action with mostly the other two things. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
They asked, these are fast and loose.
yes, yeah, this is touchy-feely shit. This doesn't really, it's not too important. As long as you basically know how you justify it, that's going to help you to play your character. Next step is your personal elements. You're going to get 3 of them. They don't have to be a skill set, a world element, and a description. Those are just 3 ways that you can define your personal elements. And so let's talk a little bit. Mina, you want fame.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you want fame. How are you going to approach that? Like, tell me a little bit about your character.
My character is the future equivalent of a Twitch streamer.
Oh, sure.
And she goes to the Bloodsport events.
Oh.
And records herself at the Bloodsport events, but that's getting stale. The market's getting, like, inundated. So her agency or whatever,
Yeah.
hired her or paid her off to, or paid for her trip up to a station so that she could live stream nothing, because there's nothing really up there. Come on now. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah. They thought it was going to be, one of those reality shows where you go to a haunted house.
She just figured the producers were going to cut it up and make it look spooky. There's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, nobody's going to be brutally murdered.
Come on.
Ghosts
aren't
That's
real.
stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what are you going to say? Streamer?
Yeah. And that's my description? Right?
Yeah, that's a description. You don't have to have one of each.
Right.
It doesn't matter what they are. It's just that's 3 ways to define your traits. That's the 3 ways that you define them.
Okay.
Okay, so you're a streamer.
Right.
Brian, you want cash monies. How are you going to get cash monies? You going to get it through metal? You going to get it through advertisement? What are you going to do?
See, I'm coming up to the station here thinking that there's a lot of money to be found because, people died and they kind of just left things here. I'm more interested in the things I don't understand, but that
Sure.
I know are worth a lot of money. So I'm good at valuing things that I don't know a lot about based upon like a market. I'm a market jockey, essentially.
A speculator.
Yeah, except that I've fallen out of favor, so, obviously pretty desperate to get money back and, like, get myself back into the quote-unquote, like, privilege club.
No, I think that works. Let's
Yeah.
do speculator as a skill set.
Alright.
Remember, it doesn't have to be your current job, and in this case, it could be a past job. Okay, Sacha, you wanted answers.
I lost somebody.
You lost somebody at this station.
I want
Okay.
to know what's going on. I want to know what happened because I didn't get any proper answers.
Are you good at investigating things, or are you bad at investigating things?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I don't know that I'm particularly good at investigating things, but I've got good intuition about what I should look.
So how about we do the descriptive element, intuitive?
Writing. Let's see.
Writing intuitive is not intuitive.
We're just knocking shit on the floor because we're all basically cats.
Oh, jeez. That was deliberate.
Yeah.
I have to fix this eye. This eye was bothering me, so I was like,
Okay.
this is not my written writing. I'm sorry, everyone.
No one is judging you on handwriting. That's a different stream.
That's a different...
We were gonna have a stream where we all practice our teacher writing, and then people vote on the best
Oh, okay,
one.
hang on. We're practicing that.
We're gonna play Karuta now.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay, one person is judging you on your handwriting, but everybody else.
Karuta, for those who don't know, is a Japanese card game that is oftentimes used in teaching. So, yeah, that's a thing. Next thing, Mina.
Yeah.
You've got streamer. That's a good skill set. Let's talk about your relationship to the world.
Can I give you one else instead? My actual
Sure.
skill. So, the streamer is actually a descriptive.
Oh.
It talks about my personality.
Oh, okay.
Right. My skill set is actually, I don't know, what would you call that? Because no, you're right. It's a skill set. Never mind. My world element. My world element is I have an obsession with my fans.
Okay, that's important because if you said your fans, I was going to try to veto that because that's too close to streamer, and you're only going to be able to use one at a time. But I think obsession with your fans is actually a really good one.
Right. Okay.
Because that's a completely different area than your streamerness.
Right. Because that's also I gotta check my Facebook and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spacebook.
my Facebook, and if my fans, who I don't know, could be manifest through a chat on a stream, for example,
Yeah.
told me to do something, I'm gonna do it, even if it's stupid.
Oh man, you're the jerk that has Google Glass with your chat.
Oh my god, I have Google Glass.
Oh. So
that survived the apocalypse of the
Somehow.
space.
yeah, it cockroaches basically.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, so Brian, next thing, you're a speculator. Tell me a little bit more about yourself.
I've got extreme FOMO.
What?
Yeah, fear of missing out.
Oh.
So I want to just get in on every single type of big thing coming up. So I guess I look more a little bit like a poser on the outside, but given the character's lack of internal insight, I don't think I'm really seeing that. I'm just kind of
Fuck, you could even do fear of missing out as a description.
Yeah.
I think that works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead and do that.
FOMO.
Space seamster. Space
FOMO.
seamster.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. And then, so Sacha, let's consider you. What's your skill set?
My skill set. I'm kind of. I see her as she's not very good at anything in particular.
What did she do for a living?
What did she do for a living? I think she was just a waitress.
That's a really great skill set.
Just a waitress.
Go ahead and jot that down.
Yeah, just a waitress.
We will find a way to justify it. The fun of these stories is trying to find ways to excuse our completely nonsensical traits.
I usually do, for example play, I usually do yoga instructor. I did not this time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did yoga instructor now, it'd be kind of a stretch.
Oh my God, Brian.
Mark it down. First one of the stream. First one.
First guy with blood.
The first one.
Yes. Content warning,
First
Brian.
Brian, do you still do the pun thing?
Okay,
It's not
Mina,
nice now.
Yes,
you get
sorry.
a third trait.
Ah, shit. Let's see, world elements, description, let's see, skill set, Brian MVP.
It's never been said my whole life.
Well, now it has.
You just had to find a dorkier group, the dorkier down you go.
If I drink more water, I can believe that to be most valuable peer. But that's,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for distracting. Yeah, shit. I'm gonna grab onto the setting material that I know about because I wrote it. And I'm gonna say that she wasn't funded by her agency.
Okay.
She was actually funded by Patreon. Well, that would be too close to the other
Yeah.
two things. I'm trying to grab something a little
It
out
would.
there. I'm gonna say that her funding for going up here, because it costs a lot of money to go up here.
Yeah.
Is shit is not my other character trait. Tacos is not my other character trait. Damn it, you people!
One of these days.
I'm a waitress, so that's
It's
kind
gotta
of
start with a B.
tacos.
If we're playing a spelling game, it's gotta start with a B. I'm just.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, shit, you're right.
shit.
One of these days, we're gonna have to do one of these games where we have the chat vote on everyone's traits.
Well, I'm gonna do that
Yes.
for some of my stuff. I'm gonna let them decide
Oh, okay.
as our fans.
Okay.
Is she trying to be a legit journalist?
Good
Oh.
question. Good question.
Yeah, how legit
Does
do
she
you wanna
want
get?
to be legit?
Oh yeah. So like, wishes she were legit. How do you start that with a B, Brian?
But legit.
But legit to quit.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Be
Become
It's,
legit.
yeah, but legit.
There we go. Become legit. Making my character an SOB.
Okay, that's another relationship with the world. Okay, so Brian,
Yeah.
All waitresses are
You want me?
legit.
You still need to tell me about like. You still need to tell me about my world elements, right? Like,
yeah, your relationship with the world.
yeah. I mean, Silver Spoon grew up just kind of like very rich, and then all of a sudden something just kind of like took a bad investment and kind of went all in.
So, did your parents cut you off?
Actually, because of the my immense amount of ability, I kind of cut my parents off.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're the black sheep.
Yeah. But I made it on my own, and now I'm kind of like having a fear of going back to the basics. So I'm
Oh, you might have to move in with mom and dad.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Might have to move in with mom and dad.
Might have
How do
to.
you shorten that?
Might have to move. Mud.
Mom's basement.
Well, you draw a little house.
Prodigal son? I don't know what you call that. No. What do you call it? You right man. Oh no!
Oh no. Just giving you ideas.
Yeah, your tree can be a picture. I don't care.
Oh man, we'll have to do
House
one
arrest.
that's just doodles.
Yeah.
That is-
That
that
carries
House
is-
arrest.
its own
House
name.
arrest.
Okay. All right. Now let's round yours off, Sacha. Intuitive waitress.
I am an intuitive.
Let's talk about your relationship to the world.
Oh, so a setting piece that you
Mm.
might consider. One of the organizations that we will be developing into its own side book eventually is the Church of the Reckoning. And basically, it's a universal Unitarian kind of vibe. When a lot of religions all came together at the same time and were like, oh boy, this was fucked up. And their primary focus is appeasing the supposed dead, the ghosts and that sort of thing, by finding the names and personal information of everyone who died on a station.
Yeah, literally
they're-
billions of people.
So they're basically building these huge lists of people who died so that they can all be memorialized and therefore end the haunting universally. So if you wanted to tie into that church, your character is there either directly or because they funded you.
Oh yeah.
Your
the-
Space Mormons.
That would be. That would. That
I
would
mean,
be
yeah.
a potential.
I wasn't
fundraiser.
gonna say it. But yeah.
Doxing the dead is weird. Well, they think they're doing the right thing. They're not,
Doxing the
they're-
dead.
They're not converting them to the religion or anything. They're just trying to make sure that their names are not forgotten.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you do have someone who's dead. You lost someone.
Yeah.
That's a good relationship to the world.
Yeah.
Survivors Guild.
Ooh, Survivor Guild.
Survivor
That's
Guild.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
You waved your hands. This is no one
Everybody
gets
That
can
makes it
say,
survive.
yeah,
official.
whoa.
I gave you house arrest. You gave me survivor. We work
Sounds
together.
like the worst gift. We're horrible friends. I gave you house arrest. You gave me Survivors Guild. That's awesome.
All right. Okay, so we have our characters. That's it. We have to name them. So let's do that.
I got it.
Right, this one's smaller.
Do we need a gamer tag instead of an actual name?
Whatever you go by.
Guys, what's a gamer tag? I don't actually know.
Gamer tag. So it's like some weird
I mean,
punny
it's
names
usually a moniker
sometimes,
of
or
some
moniker,
kind.
and
Right.
then maybe a number after if you're feeling really futuristic.
Blaze at 420.
Oh Jesus.
So that's how.
I mean, there's my favorite from that X-Files episode, right?
Yeah.
You can totally go for whatever.
She's very retro.
Like we can make up a game of tag for pretty much every person that we know, and that's a fun game, by the way.
Okay, so one thing that I forgot to do is that the director actually makes a character as well, because at some point, sometimes the director will step aside and become a player.
Someone suggests that the waitress's name should just be Lindsay. Just Lindsay.
Don't mind me, I'm just destroying the setup.
Just
Don't mind me.
Okay.
In Visigoth, if anybody ever watched the X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
Look at me being topical. All the kids with the X-Files is.
And the hips and their things that are strange, like.
When we had our Razor flip phones and our. That's
Oh
later.
yeah.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. That's like
Real player character, all in caps.
You know, I tell my therapist everything. I just won't tell my therapist like my AOL like screen names.
No,
Like, that's too deep.
That's way too deep.
That's just you're
I can't even
way-
remember them all.
Razor flip phones and Razor scooters. That's right. Well, you're creating a bucket of sunshine over there, aren't you? There's a feel-good character popping up on the bottom there.
Missing, desperate. This sounds like what happens when I like lose my candy. Like, doctor. Yep, that's the next step. Once I find it, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna erase these because they're good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
My hand slipped.
Sorry, Brian. I guess I should ask you permission before I erase your hard
Well,
stuff.
that's fear of death. I understand that.
I guess there should be more Z's in there, shouldn't there? That should be a Z.
Is there any way you can use like a Y where it shouldn't be immediate? Like-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
there you
Yeah,
go.
there you are. There you are. Okay.
That doesn't make
In
any fucking
Visigoth.
sense.
Yep.
I hate my ink.
That's some doctor handwriting.
Fuck off.
Capital Z, capital Z.
Doctor,
You're
is that a
absolutely-
cartoon?
No, wait.
Doctor, question.
Hang on. I make you.
Sounds like a genie to me.
Janie. I love the swirls on your name.
Aww.
You're not gonna put a smiley face above the J?
Yeah,
That's
we
Oh
need
yeah,
some-
no, wait. It's gotta be like the waitress thing. Have a lovely day.
Yay.
Or yeah. It's unfortunate you don't have an eye. You can dot with a little red heart.
So,
We need some Lisa Frank up in here.
Yeah, we
I
do.
feel like
So
your
when I
skill
used
set
to-
includes like signing Starbucks cups.
You're on the right track.
There you go.
when I used to wait tables, I'd introduce myself. Hi, my name is Filamena. And the person would go, that's really pretty. And I would say, yeah, it's my mother's name, so I'm trying not to get any wrinkles in it. And then wait a second to see if they caught it. And then when they don't, I know I'm not getting tipped. Like, it's just yeah, chalkboard writing right there. Yeah, you're right on the rim.
That's a doctor question. I didn't spend 10 years in medical school to be called Miss Kelly Peters at gmail.com. Oh, God. Okay. All right. So that's the characters. We have characters that are all going up into the space station.
Space.
Yeah.
Because there are no
Space.
ghosts.
Gotta go
Everything's
space.
fine.
Haley.
And so, tell me a little bit about the space station, guys. Was it mostly residential? Was it mostly industrial? Was it a research station? What was it? And people in the chat can actually contribute too.
Yeah, what kind of station was it, guys? It was not a boner pill station.
Please don't.
It's a taco restaurant. You guys are
That's a
upset.
very,
One
very big
giant
taco
taco
restaurant.
You don't want to hear the jokes that are going to
Oh,
happen
shit.
from this. What?
Right. No eye.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Weed.
no.
Okay, well wait. Weed is not bad. Weed is a start.
Yeah,
Right? Weed is a start. It's biotech, right?
yeah.
Ooh.
They were making super weed, like not just for the sake of
Super
for,
weed.
not for fun, but for retirement home. That's terrible. Retirement home. That's so depressing. Send Grandma into space.
Technically,
I have
it did
every
what- it
intention
did
of
its job.
volunteering if it becomes viable in my lifetime. I'll go
It's
to.
gotta be. Is there what else we got? What else?
I mean,
Weed would explain space tacos, but guys, I don't think we're gonna make space tacos happen. Space is great for Alzheimer's. What? I mean, maybe
How
that's true.
Scooby-Doo-
Oh yeah, less pressure on the brain.
How
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo do you
Oh.
want this adventure to be? 'Cause it sounds right now like
Well,
taco
let's
weed.
let's try to keep it pretty gritty, like if you
Yeah.
can, not just gritty in the yeah. Okay, biotech with neo-feudalism slum for
Let's
workers.
keep it gritty. Like
Ooh,
that.
ooh.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
If you want it really gritty, you can just be like
Crematorium. It's just you send Grandma, and when it's
student loan
done,
I will
repayment
be
center.
right back.
it's a student loan. Oh my God.
Sorry, too dark. Too dark.
That's awful. My heart, I can't
you
take
didn't
it.
even hear. I don't.
Student loan repayment center. Yeah. There
Oh,
you
that
go.
hurt my soul.
Yeah. See, we feel it. We feel it.
Now I'm gonna start coughing. Sorry.
Okay, wait.
Oh, no.
Alright, so here's what we're gonna do.
Space D&D.
Space D&D. No. I mean, maybe. Okay.
We got options.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're not really okay. All right.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know. I was not prepared for real fear here.
You have to be
I'm
afraid.
acting.
You
I'm
gotta
acting.
be afraid to live and die, my friend. Retirement.
I'm okay
You
with
didn't
living
say
and dying.
anything,
You said nothing about
about
death.
purgatory, okay? You didn't say anything about purgatory.
Didn't say anything about my debt.
And a biotech firm.
We're in.
I like the biotech firm.
Student loan center. Oh my God.
You're welcome.
So one of the things about
Repayment center, repayment.
Yeah, one of the things about Maschine Zeit that's different than your traditional RPG, and one of the things that I feel makes it a really good horror game, is that the GM, the director, doesn't come up with the story. The players essentially come up with the story, because if you tell someone, come up with a thing that scares you, they're going to come up with something that scares them better than you could ever do.
Who can spell Alzheimer's? Because it's not me.
Oh.
ALH.
Yep. It's spelled. It sounds like Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
but it's
Z,
Alzheimer's.
EI.
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, and then S.
Okay, it's fine.
But I think with an apostrophe. Alzheimer's? Am I saying that right? Is
Yep.
the Z in the right place?
Maybe. Who knows? It's my fault. It's my fault. Okay, guys, vote 1, 2, or 3 for your choice.
I like
Dementia. Yeah, dementia's easier. You're right. 1, 2, or 3.
They're a few seconds behind us.
Yeah.
If it ends up being,
Got some votes.
if it ends up being 3, I feel like vape has to be like a.
Vape Nation.
Yes. Can you
I mean, I
imagine?
like the idea of biotech because that would be super export out of there. People coming and going.
Oh, you guys are sadistic.
Oh God, it's happening. I had nightmares about this.
About being stuck
Oh, you
in
can like
space.
see. I'm over here like
Yeah, I think I got that.
wringing my hands statistically.
2. Yeah. Oh. Another vote.
Another vote for bio.
Wow, we don't have more student loan centers. I'm surprised.
These are kind people who don't actually want players to go
They
through
want to.
stress.
They want to
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
watch this because I would be way too. It'd be too real.
Very, very too real. All right. So it looks like a tie.
Okay, so we can work that out.
So this was a
Oh,
space
research
station
lab that experiments on the.
Alzheimer's victims.
Oh wow.
These are terrible.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we got it.
We somehow managed to come up with like an equally bad scenario as student loan repayment center.
Particularly when you remember everybody's probably dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well,
All right. So.
Oh god, I have the story for my character too.
Oh dear.
It's bad.
Here it is.
Retire. fucking Christ, I can't spell anything anymore. All of a sudden, the whole language.
ANYTHINGANYMORE.
What? Wait.
Said I can't spell anything anymore.
Oh my God, Brian! Jesus Christ!
Does that count as a pun?
Can we like, do we have like a flag we throw down like foul?
It's a little handkerchief that's thrown.
Oh, hi, Regent Will. Hey, we miss you too.
Retirement. Fuck it.
There's me.
I'll put it in there.
Okay,
Just
you know what?
throw
Why
it in
don't
there.
you do it, Mr.
We'll spell check
Retirement what?
after you. Retirement
biotech
community.
Brian's
Yeah.
getting high fives.
I feel like they couldn't.
Yeah, space is definitely better for arthritis and for Alzheimer's because of the pressure on the brain.
And for being experimented on.
Well, no, I mean, that's how you'd sell it to old people. You
Yeah.
tell them go up into the low grav and everything will be easier.
And you sell it to investors because it's exempt from international ethics regulations.
Yay! With the space suite especially, that's true.
Yeah.
So at least they were all high.
Okay. Okay. So it's a biotech community that was experimenting on them, and ultimately at least the pitch. We don't know how real it is. Oh my God, boner pills and 0G. So we don't know how ethical it was intended to be, but the pitch was that they wanted to help old people. Ultimately, pharmaceutical companies want to do those things because they want to make cash money, right? Like, so they're trying to do the right thing, but sometimes you have to break a few eggs, and by eggs I mean people, and by people I mean, human lives.
You know, emojis are a privilege, not a right, ladies and gentlemen.
We really need to do custom emotes.
We do.
Okay.
That's what the lizard bridge is for.
All right. Okay. So we have our setting. Where is it located? Where, like, it's in space, but it's tethered to the world by like a space elevator. Where? Japan?
Japan.
Yeah, let's do Japan. Yeah.
A retirement center for old people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. So
Just
we're over
saying.
Japan.
And
Yeah.
let's say it's over like Tochigi or something. That way it's like over the mountains, because they figured it would be more practical to put something into space if they had a slightly less like they were trying to convenience the old people.
And to get people out of Tokyo.
Yeah. And so in order
you couldn't
to
build a space elevator platform anywhere in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Well, a space elevator, it would take like 12 hours to get to the top of it, but if you put it on top of a mountain in Tochigi, maybe it's 10 hours instead of 12 hours, and so the old people are more prone to do that.
Yeah,
Also, you can convince them it's still technically in Japan.
Yeah, it's still technically in Japan, yeah.
Yes, there is an issue in Japan. Not an issue, but there is a thing in Japan where they are building robots to help the elderly.
Yeah.
So
We were all bringing this all back to Respect for the Elderly Day.
That's
I love
right.
it.
Yeah,
We keep
respect for the elderly day.
Unfortunately, these ones didn't make it, so
Aw.
that's...
Well, we're being respectful by
Rip.
remembering an item. We're not making boner pills. Oh, you guys. No, that's true. That's good. Okay. Of course it's tethered to Japan.
Yeah, it's tethered to Japan. Yeah, we're going to put it in the mountains that are like a little bit to the northwest of Tokyo.
Oh shit, we got some kanji up in this joint.
Yeah.
That's grass and cape with box and grave spoon guy. My mnemonics are not great.
Yeah.
Day.
Day.
That one's day.
Yes. That is respect for the aged day.
Oh, there you go. Now you're getting some, what you call it?
Yeah, Japanese.
Education.
Edumacation.
And ironically, my handwriting in Japanese is better than my handwriting in English.
No.
No,
Not really.
it's pretty garbage. But my English is pretty garbage too. So. Okay, so it's respect to the aged day.
We're gonna have this.
This is so awful.
This abused retirement community in space.
It's the retirement abusement park.
Oh.
Brian wasn't even in the room for that. I have to tell him when he comes back in.
Oh no.
I heard him mumbled
I
something.
think he said, "I'm never coming back."
All right, all right.
Hurry up, I gotta drain the lizard brain. We're talking about lizard brains.
You guys are counting puns now?
Oh yes.
Good, put a pun counter in the corner.
Can we get a widget for that?
I'm gonna find a widget for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, please.
get one of
do
those.
We're gonna take a.
big abacus.
We're
Gonna take a quick
little
break.
Shake off here.
Yeah, Sacha's gonna use the restroom. Brian used the restroom. I did. Like, just be a couple seconds.
And so, if you have any questions about what you've heard from the game setting or the system or anything like that thus far,
Yeah, this is the time.
this is a time.
A time. I mean, you can do it at any time. Huh?
It's a time for us.
Now
You
is
know?
still the time, but it's the past now.
Oh,
so
no.
It's now is now.
Shit.
What did I miss?
Nothing. Nothing.
Great.
Did you hear my pun?
I did not.
Because it's Respect for the Aged Day,
There you go.
we're calling this a retirement abusement park. You see, because amusement.
Yeah, nope. I have time. Could you explain it further?
Well, abusement actually sounds a little bit like amusement,
Yeah.
but it uses abuse.
Yep.
It's got a different etymology.
Okay.
So it's got a double meaning.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, no, I get it now. Yeah.
And because amusement
Thank
is
you
part of amusement park.
Wait. Is that the retirement amusement park? So they're all that park.
Yeah, yeah.
R.A.P. It's got the. I'm stretching here.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Joe was asking us about how far the setting is going to be tweaked from the first Maschine Zeit.
It's actually
Good
the
question.
only thing that we're really doing to the setting from the first is that we're simplifying it super much. If you were, I don't know if you were there for the very beginning of the stream where I was reading off the setting. That's literally the setting section in the book. The book is very small this time around. Instead of like a 150-page book, this one's going to be like a 60-page book. And the setting is going to be like 2 pages. We're going to leave room to expand and have fun with some supplements, but the idea is that we want to give you guys the seeds to build it in play. Yeah. So the setting chapter is basically 2 pages. That's the difference. But it's the same world, and we're going to work out more details in some other stuff. But I really want to focus on smaller books, like tiny books. That way we can do it closer to a subscription style model where we do like a 40 to 60 page book every month or 2 instead of, one every year or 2. It's more fun that way.
Very Ashcan. Absolutely.
Yeah, very Ashcan. It's sort of zine style. But instead, like, we've done zine style and Ashcan style games before, but these are going to have a higher production value than the old ones. Like, I don't know if you've seen the layout for the new book yet, but it's pretty tight. It looks good. We're definitely we're putting more effort toward higher production value in a shorter book, which is better for us, better for time, better for budgets and stuff like that. Yeah. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. It's super fun.
And yeah, I mean, the characters are literally so fast that if you do lose a character, there's a couple of ways to handle things when a character dies, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my evil laugh. Anyhow, there's a couple of different ways. One of them is just it's a quick turnaround to pull out a new character.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, so let's start killing people.
All right. Okay, so you guys are going up to this station.
Are any of those Japanese?
Well, you're the only one that has an ambiguous name
Oh,
currently. But
but
it's been almost 100 years.
ironically, no. I'm like Swedish.
I'm sorry. You're the one with 3 question marks for your name, but she's the one that.
I don't count my character because my character doesn't start play.
Uh,
My character will probably be Japanese, but yeah.
Yes. There are guidelines and rules for a longer term play, but yes, this is a quick successional horror movie kind of thing rather than a horror series.
Yeah, and we don't look at it as a campaign style play. Even if you're playing multiple games with the same story, it's not a campaign style game in the sense that you might play like D&D or World of Darkness or something. We consider multiple sessions to be sequels.
Right.
Think about it like Friday the 13th and Friday the 13th 2. There might be some characters that survive that are in that, but by and large, we're taking the same world that we have built and building onto that. They are sequels, not continuations. Like, you can do it otherwise, but the default assumption is that we do it like movies. And usually the character creation goes really quick. I was just explaining everything in laborious detail, and we were having a lot of fun with it. But if you guys know the game, it goes in like 10 minutes. Okay. All right. So, Mountains of Tochigi. You guys are taking a space elevator up. I think it's been like 100 years. It's been a long time. I figure that probably the definition of what is Japanese has probably changed a lot. Thanks to, the tennis player who is part Haitian, part Japanese, and part American.
What's her name? I see her everywhere now.
I can't remember. Osaka what?
Naomi.
Naomi?
I think
Naomi
it's
Osaka?
Naomi.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So basically, as long as you're an expert athlete,
Yeah.
your mixed heritage doesn't matter.
Well, that's in 2018. It
Right.
changes over the course of 100 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Feels like the continued evolution of character process over several games, to be honest. Like, each game you try to refine it and streamline it. Yeah, that's it. That's a lot like it. And we also really wanted to figure out what we wanted Maschine Zeit to be. And we found that out through playing it for 5 years. 8 years. Wow. Yeah.
Fuck, you're old.
Yeah, it's been 8 years since we released the first edition. Okay. Anyway, you guys are going up the space elevator. How is the trip?
I'm nauseous the whole time.
Mm.
Just absolutely can't really scream. Absolutely frantic about it because like I was supposed to take cool clips and like get selfies with all the cool mercenaries who are coming up here. No, throwing up into a bag most of the time.
Oh, somebody joined our Discord.
I'm gonna take care of that.
I'm loudly chewing on a cheeseburger.
Hold on.
I've got an extra one in my bag. I am oblivious to the sounds I am making with my mouth. I'm an open mouth chewer.
Oh.
Yep, I'm.
You're the worst.
Yes.
No, stop. I can't even, not even,
Or
no.
at the very least,
no, I'm
at the
pushing
very-
off this couch.
At the very least, move closer to the mic so that the whole
The
audience
whole
leaves.
audience can make.
No, don't do it.
True horror. This is the ultimate horror experience.
Have you heard of Room with a Moose? Well, now enjoy Cat Room with a Brian.
Invader Zim references. We are so
All right,
relevant.
You're very
We
topical.
Always.
Moist.
Between chews, does he keep saying moist? Moist.
This cheeseburger sure
This
is.
cheeseburger needs more pickles.
Oh my god. Okay.
Um,
So how are you?
Jamie is mostly being quiet, keeping to herself off in the corner, but when she sees the poor girl vomiting, she does offer her some motion sickness medication, because yeah, she had to take some too. She expected it wasn't going to be a good trip.
And so this is a derelict station. There aren't really a lot of people coming up and down. It's a very rare thing. So where it used to be that these elevators would take up like, a couple hundred people at a time, today it's taking up 3. It's very desolate. It's a very large space. It's about the size of like a school gymnasium.
You're saying his sound travels really well.
Oh no.
Yes. Yes.
And we both already hate you immensely.
So when the ghosts attack, it's him first.
So,
Wagyu beef. Can't beat it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
This is the start of the horror movie. This is the
Right.
shit talker.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay. So, you guys are heading up. It's a very long trip. And like, there's only so much cheeseburger you can eat. But you make it last. And in fact, like, it's a 10-hour trip, so really that's like 3 meals, if you time it right. So, I imagine some of you nap, relax as best you can.
Yeah, I don't like my backpack.
I'm sure these elders are outfitted with like, they're not just bare, right?
They're pretty bare, actually.
Oh.
Like there
They
was some
they're
stuff,
not
but
always bare.
yeah, a lot of it has been salvaged out just because it's not really that practical. There's cots and things, and
I got my own fold-out seat.
so there's cots and things, but like the lights are dim because they just don't want to invest in using floodlights for 3 people.
Yeah.
It's just the whole environment says that this is just not really a popular choice right now. Yes, there's going to be a final girl mechanic, as somebody was asking in here. Yes, there is a final girl mechanic, and that's actually going to be in there. It's going to be really fun. But why don't you guys in the chat tell me one thing that's in the elevator that is unexpected, not necessarily something dangerous, but something that they weren't expecting to see. Not too bright, ambient music. Leftover demands from the elderly. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's definitely soft music.
A decommissioned robot.
A decommissioned robot. I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a decommissioned robot
Okay.
in just dead center. And you guys were loaded in by a technician. The technician is operating it the way that you would operate like a Disneyland ride. They're not there. They're not a pilot. It's just an elevator.
Yeah.
And
Were they wearing a cute uniform?
no, there's no bellhop uniform, anything
Damn
like
it.
that. It was just a jumpsuit.
That was my first disappointment of the trip. My second was throwing up the whole time.
Yeah. So, but they basically pushed you in, not like pushed you, but they told you to just go in, I'll push the button. You go in, they push the button. You go in, you're like, oh, there's a robot, dead center. And it's just like a big open gymnasium-like space with some cots around, but there's a robot.
So, I'm picturing the, I lift old people and carry them into a bed robot.
Oh, sure.
But, it's the future, so it's set up to carry multiple old people at the same time. So it's this weird, like, Shiva-like entity with a
6
weird...
arms.
Yeah, like, multiple arms and, like, this, like, serene face-like expression. And it's very white. But, well, it was initially, like, very white and clean, but now the plastic is yellowed.
Yeah.
Imagine the hands have those, like, they're just, like, the clamps, but they're, like, padded on
Right.
the inside.
Or like a,
Yeah.
well, I was going to say somewhere between a cot and a spatula.
Yeah.
Yeah, very big. And it doesn't look like it could hurt you. I mean, it's covered in beds.
It's literally covered in bed.
Yeah, well, that's like the most non-violent thing you've ever seen.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's very comforting in a creepy way. Yeah, so it was a transport robot for the elderly.
I'm definitely studying it a bit.
It's very quiet. It's very much like one of those large Buddha statues that just sort of relaxes. It's there.
Just relaxes.
Yeah.
Terrible blank face.
Yeah. So, the time passes. You guys nap, you guys eat, you guys hang out, and you get to the top. Actually, no. What's one memorable thing that you say or do that is not eating a
Other than
cheeseburger?
Other than chewing a cheeseburger.
Wait, no.
No, you vomited.
I vomited. That's all.
Yeah.
I vomited.
What do you do?
York.
I seem very, like, I'm opening up my pack.
Yeah.
And, I've got this whole collection. I look like, I'm almost like a mom. Like I've got
For sure.
all these tiny little pouches in my backpack.
Oh, you're
And
a
that's
Rob
why,
Liefeld character.
I handed her the medicine before,
Pop
and
your
like
feet.
I walk over and I offer this guy an acid reflux tablet.
Okay.
He's looking at me.
I don't need it, man.
Okay. And so let's see. Antacid.
Fantastic.
Okay. I'm going to note that
I
down.
definitely have. There's definitely first aid in my bag.
That's just the thing that we're going to bring up at some point. Bed robot.
Bed robot.
And we need...
I'm going to screen several calls from my cell phone. My cell phone's going to keep ringing. I'm just going to pick it up annoyingly, look at it, and then just switch it off. And then happens like periodically as we're still in the
Borger.
Border. Border.
You know what I want.
that too.
K-tie. K-tie. Ding ding.
Voice tellets.
And vomit.
Vomit.
Ugh,
Okay, those are things that we're just going to bring up.
I regret my choice.
Yeah, well, the thing is that in a horror movie, whatever happens in the first scene has to get called back.
Oh no.
It's sort of Chekhov's gun, except in this case it's Chekhov's vomit,
Oh,
cheeseburger, bed robot, and acid.
We So we're going Raimi style for this particular horror movie.
Yeah,
Oh great. Sorry guys.
yeah. So, this isn't a family movie. This is a
Not a
Sam Raimi
family
movie.
movie. Chekhov's chunks. Oh.
Wow.
Oh God,
Ooh.
this is awful. Awful, like OFFAL, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's three.
Yeah.
That's 4. I mean,
I mean,
we already had 3.
alright, fine. Numbers are fine.
Numbers are fine.
Numbers are fine.
Okay.
Raimi's gore. Chekhov's gun. Yeah.
Now I have to grab some tofu real quick. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Because you can't have
I have to eat something.
monsters without tofu.
I'm trying to come up with a version now. So we've got Chekhov's chunks, Schrodinger's. It's like when you're like, am I gonna throw up? Am I not gonna throw up? Like,
Ah, Schrodinger's.
Shite.
no, well, I mean that would it's going out the other way, but
I feel short. No, that's the other thing. That's
I mean,
awful.
yeah, because then you don't know, right? The both is and is not in your,
The
in your
Schrodinger's,
underwear.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh god. So that's a whole different topic. That's Schrodinger's. I feel like the 90s gave us something. Like that's something the guys from Wayne Worlds would have had a word for, but yes,
Here you go. Have Pavlov's.
Pavlov's puke,
Okay,
right?
there we go. That works.
Schrodinger's. That's some German shit right there. Schrodinger's spew.
Spew. There you go.
There you go. I
There
knew
you
it. That was
go.
totally something Wayne's World guys said. I knew
There
they would
you
have
go.
answers for us,
Okay.
as always. Yep. We don't have children. What are you talking about? Absolutely
Very
not.
good at my high pitched voice.
Yes. Brian is the cutest little girl. You don't see the face he's giving us, but you'll just have to trust us on that.
Hang on.
Okay.
And never sleep again.
And never sleep again. Hang on, we're gonna make the face.
Don't.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
I'm gonna do it.
Is that a potato?
Yes.
potato.
What are you
It's a
doing
potato.
here?
I'm gonna
Cool.
give you some cool hair.
Why am I a gangster?
What do you mean, why are you a gangster?
How are you getting gangster out of that picture?
Like a 1940s.
Get the big
like,
cheek look going.
I look like a
It
villain
is a
from.
side-eye.
I look like a villain from Dick Tracy. Like
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Never sleep again.
What
Okay.
was that?
That was an emoji given flesh.
Told you I can't throw people.
Okay. So, you guys arrive. Is there power? Is there auxiliary power? Or is there no power? Tell me about the lights.
I think the elevator would get stuck halfway up to the floor where we have to actually like
Climb out or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's say it stops literally like waist height.
Yep.
And like you guys have to jimmy the door open and climb up.
I'm pushing. Is there a there's a button I'm pushing like Can I get an attendant here? Like, is there anybody answering?
It's gonna take like
Hello?
10 hours
Somebody
to get up
there?
here to even fix anything. Might as well just climb.
It's a computer.
Yeah, computer ain't gonna do shit. You just gotta climb out.
Nobody's answering anyway. I don't think it's going through.
Okay.
You want me to try it?
I'm trying to climb out at this point.
Okay.
I'll wait till he's about halfway up,
Okay.
and then I'll pop off the panel
Sure.
and use my knowledge of, jury rigging systems to get it to force the door down. So that, like, not to crush him or anything, but to like drop him to the ground because he's climbing up over it's a door, I've decided, that closes from top and bottom.
Oh.
And he's climbing over the top, so when I do it, and it'll be fine, nothing will go wrong. It'll just drop down.
Nothing will go wrong when someone like
Nothing
is
will
hacking
go
something.
wrong.
It's like the best
No.
thing I've ever heard.
It'll be
Okay.
fine.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do a dice roll for this.
Okay.
So the way that dice rolls work, you start off with you start off with your stakes. You have to figure out what happens if you win, what happens if you lose.
Right.
So Mina, what do you want to happen? What happens if you win?
I want the door to open and him to like kind of bounce his chin against the thing and us all to have a good laugh because he's gross.
Okay. Okay. What happens if you lose?
We all have a good laugh.
I think
Everybody but him.
The elevator falls the floor.
Oh.
What would you consider?
Oh, how about he falls in
Yeah.
and you guys go down the
And
floor?
we go down the floor.
Yeah, that'll work.
So immediately split the party.
Yeah. Let's
I like that.
go.
Okay. So does that appeal to one of your personal elements?
Yes, because, okay, it's my ego, obviously. Because I will look good because I am computer savvy. Haha, look at this guy climbing over a thing.
Okay.
And he will look bad, and, like, I need a heel, obviously. My producers are screaming for a heel. And it's
Okay.
going to be him. So.
Okay. The personal elements are the ones at the bottom. The streamer.
Oh, sorry, that's
It's
my,
okay.
my streamer, because it's
Okay.
really my computer savvy.
Okay. You basically, in any given dice roll, you can apply one personal element,
Okay.
and that starts off your pool at 25.
Okay.
So you're going to start with 25. You're going to use a point of ego.
Yes.
Are you going to use one of your 25s or one of your lesser ones?
I'll use one of my 25s. Let's start
Okay, go
strong.
ahead. Knock one of your 25s off, and then you can pick a second universal element, one of your ego, super ego, if you want.
No, I think 50 is
And that's
good.
the 10. Your 25s are down there.
I was just making sure you were paying attention.
Okay, so you're going to use a base 50%?
Yeah.
That's good. So she's got a 50% chance because she's using streamer for 25 and ego for 25. That's 50%. So she wants to roll a percentage, and she wants to roll under 50%, equal or under. And the black dice are going to be 10's digit.
All right.
So let's see how this goes.
Bye.
86.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going to happen is we're going to split the party.
Yay.
All right. So the Brian, like the door's about to shut, and Brian rolls into the hall, and the door slams shut, and then you guys, it goes clunk clunk down a floor,
Okay.
and then opens up. Like, oh, I knew how to open the door. Yeah.
I was obviously not supposed to open up there.
Yeah. That's just
And
the
we
wrong
got rid
place.
of that guy.
Okay. How many floors does the space elevator have? That's a good question. How many floors do you guys think it has?
Well, this is the space elevator's basement. Like, this is the station's basement. We've just, like, knocked down into the basement where
Oh,
all
sure.
like, the boilers are.
I just think that in Japan, space elevators would have excessive amounts of floors.
Well, the bottom floor is definitely where all the food is.
Yeah.
And it's not the
Yeah.
space elevator's floor. It's the station's floor, because the space elevator is just a tube.
Yeah, well, but the space station
Right.
has multiple floors.
Right.
And I'm thinking Japanese ones would have more.
Yeah.
Like
Which
a
is the
department
thing-
store might have 9 floors.
You
That's
get
true.
in on the first floor, right?
Right.
But there's always that basement floor below it,
That's the
Right.
grocery store.
which is
Right.
pretty much where you are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are in the food storage area.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
That sounds
I like that. And then the first floor is mostly like welcoming center, right?
Right.
It's the lobby.
Mm.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go down, the door opens, the camera cuts. Brian, tell me about the entrance.
This wide
Cheeseburger
open
wrappers
space,
everywhere.
circular front desk, large pillar kind of behind it with a bunch of like faded out posters behind glass. There's like an empty wheelchair. It's kind of rusted on the side. There's a lot of receptacles for where robots would have gone. Those are empty. For some reason, there's a diaper there, laying on the ground. And yeah, a lot of dust and just a lot of things that have just been like kicked to the side as like an entrance sort of thing. Like it once was probably nice that like they hung banners and stuff, but
Yeah.
now you see like hallways going down. Like, I mean, they're dark right now, but I mean.
So that the power is light or down. Light. The power is down.
It's on big aux.
Aux power. Okay, I like that. I like
So I'm
that.
getting like the dim lighting of like the area.
Now, this is a Japanese retirement community, so do the humidifiers work?
On aux, yes.
Yeah, they on aux power. They are definitely still running. Okay.
Adult or infant diaper?
Not checking.
Not
Okay. Okay.
That'll be a mystery.
So, I imagine your character probably fusses the door a little bit because you're, separated from the group and you don't know what's going on. But that doesn't do anything. So where do you go from there? What do you do?
Oh hell.
We know that you
Alright.
don't check the diaper.
No. I'm gonna look behind the desk.
Okay. It's a check-in desk. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, for some reason they got these things that look like clipboards,
Sure.
and the computers are there, but they're like these weird like iPad Pros from like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't use holograms or anything like I'm used to.
They still use fax machines.
Shit. That's a deep cut for people living in Japan.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
No, they have upgraded from fax machines.
Because at this point paper import would be a difficult thing.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I like that. So what do you see that interests your character?
the computers are crap, but what's on them might tell me kind of where some of the medical supplies are. So I'm trying to check in like for floors. I want a general layout. I want to see like
Okay.
so.
Well,
I want to know what the pillar says next to me because I know that floor is listed right next to the escalator. Like what is this place?
but you don't know the language, right?
I do not.
Ah, okay. So let's see if you can cut it out from context, because Japan is pretty good about communicating through context, but if you don't know the language, it's still a struggle. So let's put together a dice roll.
All right.
What happens if you win?
If I win,
Yeah,
I figure out where the medical supply office is.
I like that. Okay, what happens if you lose?
What happens if I lose? If I lose, I figure out where the medical supply office is. It's just wrong.
Okay. So one way we find out the medical supply office and it's good, and one way we find out and it's bad. All right. So give me a dice roll. First off, start with a personal element. You've got speculator, you've got house arrest, and you've got FOMO.
I'm gonna use speculator because I'm pretty good at sussing out where the value is.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that starts you off with a base of 25, and now you get to pick one or two of your universal elements.
I'm not even waiting on these guys. I mean, why? I mean, I can do it myself, so I might as well just use id.
Id. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna use one of your 25s.
I'm gonna use because of the nature. I'm gonna use the 20.
Okay, go ahead. Mark
so
that
you're
off.
figuring this out, but in a really
You can get them
socially
back, so make for
inappropriate-
sure that you can fix
Oh,
it
okay.
however you mark it.
All right, let's just put it.
And you want to use a second one, like a superego or an id? Or sorry, superego or an ego.
I think I'm gonna use the.
I think there's a good argument for ego in this case.
Yeah, but that's kind of my backup, right?
Yeah, that's
Pretty good
true.
Backup. Also, an argument for super ego, which is like, look, we need to get this right. We just need to get out of here.
Yeah.
There's some pressure on you here.
Yeah.
Let's pick up the pace a bit.
All right, go ahead.
You're out of burgers after all.
You're
Yeah,
out of
I'm gonna
burgers.
choose a 15 from that.
Okay, so we've got a 25, a 15, and a 25. So that's going to be 60. You got a 60% base. Roll.
Said roll under a 60.
Yep, 60 or under. 49. Okay. So the way that this works, whenever you succeed in a roll on Machine Zeit, your target is that number. So in this case, his target was 60. But he got under. Whenever you get under, for every 25 under, and you round up, you always round up on that, you get what we call a condition. So he's going to get what he wants. He's going to find the medical office. But he's also going to get one other thing that happens in the event. And I'm going to tell you there's a list of the things that can happen. Basically, a condition is a statement about the world around your character. They have to fit within these criteria. It is a single statement that can introduce or modify a person, place, thing, or event within the scope of the narrative. They may not remove a character from play directly. They cannot contradict statements made by other conditions. So once a condition is in play, it's there. Conditions may only affect one scene, either the current scene or the next scene, not both. And not later than that.
Cool.
Conditions cannot change the past, but they can add to it through flashbacks. And a condition can only directly benefit or harm a single character in a mechanical way. You can also use one to replenish 2 of your spent elements. Oh, sorry, one more thing. They can also help heal you.
Fine for now.
Yeah, if that's the intent of what you're doing. Yeah.
I'm going to say that finding this out pretty early on gives me good access to a direct exit from where I'm going. In other words, I know the route back to this place to where I'm going.
Sure. Okay.
Like, I know that route is clear.
You know this scene or next scene?
Next scene.
Okay, next scene, you know how to get back here.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. All right. That's important. So, you've figured it out. You're like, oh, okay. And you know which way to go. Scene. Mina, Sacha, let's talk about Invisigoth and Janie. Tell me where you guys are. It's something to do with food.
Food, but it's very empty. It's all just storage. Probably a bit rusted at this point. Starting to show its neglect. And Janie's looking a bit irritated. She's glad that she didn't have to climb, but now she's like, this is not the lobby. This is not. There's no map here. There's no way to just know where to go. So she's just kind of trying. She's not walking so far ahead of Miss Invisigoth, but she feels like that this one's dragging behind her.
You're taking point.
A little bit. Yeah, I'm taking point, and I'm looking around for even stairs. I don't need another elevator. I feel like.
Yeah.
I just want to not be down here.
Oh,
There's
sure.
nothing for me here.
Okay. Mina, tell me a little bit about the scene.
Well, so now that I'm feeling a little bit better and I was successful.
Yeah.
I got what I wanted, of course. So now I'm taking a moment to celebrate by talking with my fans, taking some selfies. There's a really long lag between my posts and their responses, which is killer annoying. But, I've taken some selfies with the robot, climbed up in the robot's arms and made sure that people could see how cute I am with this thing. My grandma had one. I told everybody about it. And then I noticed that she's, left.
Yeah.
And so, I'm like, oh, okay, so there's a personality. So I've got to, take another minute to, shit talk a little bit. And
Sure.
then I'm going to go try to find her. But I'm sure it's fine.
I'm going to give you a slight interjection.
Sure.
You turn a slight, not a different path, but a wider path than she is taking, and you trip over a body.
Luckily, Logan Paul is long in history, so I don't even know that reference to me.
Yeah. So you're not Logan Pauling it.
I'm not Logan Pauling it.
The body, near the body is a syringe, with some, not printed, but hastily scrawled Japanese on it.
Okay. I'll take like closer pictures of that
Okay.
and ask my audience if they know anything about that particular Japanese.
Okay, do we want to make this happen, or do we want to make this something with stakes?
Let's have the stakes.
Okay, sure.
Because
So go
rolling
ahead.
so far has not failed me yet. Oh, shit.
Okay, let's see how this goes. So the positive is going to be that you figure it out, right?
Right.
Okay, what's the negative?
The negative is, I think it's something that it's totally not. You know, one of those, like, they
Yeah.
translated it as, like, health water, but actually it's like, poison, don't fucking drink this, you idiot.
One of your popular fans has a hardcore case of Dunning-Kruger.
Or, no, they're just really bad at using Google Translate, because
Yeah.
we've, for some reason, not evolved past. And everybody's
believe
an
that.
expert, yeah.
I believe that.
Everybody who is a
Japanese,
fan of
I
mine,
totally believe it.
they're absolutely, like, obsessed with anime, but they don't actually know the language, so they just think they do.
Yeah, and it's handwritten,
And it's
so
handwritten.
kanji is muzakashi.
So,
Um, Okay.
That's not a phrase. You can't say that. Don't repeat me. I'm not teaching you Japanese today.
Is that a ra? Is that a ka?
Muzakashi is basically challenging.
Yeah, difficult.
Difficult, yeah. Okay, so anyway, go ahead and do streamer for 25, and then what else?
No, I'm gonna actually use my obsession with my fans.
Okay, sure.
Because I just
You're
believe
trusting them,
Of
yeah.
course.
Okay,
So
so
that's
you're obsessed with your fan. Now give me one or two of your universal elements.
Let's go with super ego because this is my community, right?
Okay, you're gonna take your 15 or your
My
10.
15.
Okay, cool. And you're gonna use another, or you're gonna leave it at 40?
I'm gonna leave it at 40.
All right, roll under 40. Or don't.
Or don't.
87. That is not 40.
That's not 40.
Okay. All right. So you do not get it. So basically, it is a.
This is me not being afraid to die. You
There's-
see?
There's a little case of these things that don't have the same scrawling, but you can tell it's the same stuff because it's got like this sort of bluish liquid inside of it.
Yeah.
Looks kind of like pina colada Kool-Aid.
Oh, nice.
And it is and what it supposedly has scrawled on it is that it's a regenerative. It's a rapid healing thing.
Oh.
You've heard about experiments with stuff that's supposed to rapidly heal injuries that was made up on the stations, but you've never seen it.
So does the guy look rapidly healed?
No, he looks dead,
Huh.
but like pretty long dead. Like, you know, it's been a long time. So, and the station hasn't really been explored.
Right.
So he might have died in the process. Like his body seems pretty much okay.
Okay.
So, you know, there's that. But yeah, so you've got a little case of this stuff that is regenerative.
I'm taking that with me because that sounds awesome.
Awesome. Okay. So we have that.
Consistent rolling is important. Look, I am so good at rolling bad, there is nothing I can do but just buy all in.
Healing serum.
Can confirm.
Can confirm.
Yeah. Healing serum. We'll put that there.
Nothing bad is going to happen.
Nothing bad.
All right. And so you pick up the thing, and then you guys meet up. We'll cut back to Brian. Brian, you are in a medical supplies office.
Yep.
Or you are at a medical supplies office.
Yep. Obviously, there's a front window there.
There is a front window, and somebody's pounding on it.
Ooh, someone's pounding on it.
It's an older Japanese woman. Fit, like.
Yeah. Excuse me.
You see her, and she's like mouthing something, but she clearly can't hear you, or you can't hear her.
I'm gonna do the door sign.
Door doesn't work.
They're doing a lot of gesticulation between the two of them, which is really good for a stream that's not pointed at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're expert.
I would do the hand move. Honestly, no, there's no way it could not go bad. Just think of a door handle. Yeah, like that. Yep. All right. I'll go up to the door. I'm gonna try it.
Okay, it's locked.
Yeah, figures. Okay.
The only Japanese that Brian's character knows is some terrible version of Yoroshiku.
Yorosh.
Yoroshiku.
Ryo.
Onigai shimmers.
Ryo Shiku. Alright, I'm gonna... I mean, this was to be expected.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take out, like, my heavy flashlight.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna, like, basically just... I'm gonna get the window.
Okay.
Start.
The window's thick. The window's bulletproof. Like, it's reinforced. It's hardcore. Like, if you want to try to break it down, we can make a roll for that. But it's not a fucking around window.
How about that handle?
The handle is industrial. Like, this is medical supplies in Japan are typically pretty well protected. They're very serious about drug abuse.
Oh, God,
They're
they are.
hardcore.
Okay.
They're hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to communicate with the lady. Like, I'm gonna just like point at the door, and then like try to make like a key.
She shrugs.
I'm gonna point the lights. You're like,
Yeah, she keeps she keeps saying something over and over.
I can see what you're saying, so I know.
Brian sees what I'm mouthing, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I basically got that from. Okay, let's go ahead and try to find a way around this, like, because it's not just this supply closet for the floor.
No.
No.
That would be
No,
weird.
this is definitely like a medical office. This is like the first aid room, and pharmacy for the place.
I'm gonna go searching around for a key.
Okay, all right.
That's
She's
probably
pounding on the window like.
You're like, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Just hold my hands over my ears, just trying to search around for some.
All right, you go looking for a key.
Yeah.
All right, we'll cut back to the others. Okay, you two are together now. Tell me about where you're at now.
Go ahead.
Found some stairs.
Okay.
Found some stairs and basically tried to make sure that this one is closer to me before I continue onward, because it's very obvious that stopping frequently is a thing.
Is there not an elevator? Because these stairs look totally tall.
It's like one floor, it'll be fine.
Okay.
What is this, a fitness channel? Ugh.
The stairs are clearly, like, they're not meant for, you know, the average visitor to be going up and down. It was
Yeah.
meant for staff to, like, hauling things up and down.
In emergencies,
In
basically.
emergencies. Yeah, you're not really supposed to be using these stairs, but, you know, they seem sturdy enough.
Okay.
You know, they don't seem so bad, so
Yeah. They get the job done.
cautiously make my way up, listening for any protesting from the metal.
Okay. What unexpected thing happens?
Protesting from the metal.
It doth protest.
It doth protest
does.
too much.
Too much.
What
it
is
doth
it?
protest to rust.
What?
Oh, that's 5.
What does it say?
I want to. I was gonna say it probably happens just close enough up onto a landing that there's a sense of, oh, should I just like try to give an oomph and like to jump off this step and see what's gonna happen?
So, I'm gonna say you're about halfway up.
Halfway up.
Both of you.
Okay.
You're about halfway up.
Yeah.
And one of you. Oh, let's rock paper scissors.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Rock paper scissors. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Mina wins.
So
Okay, us.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. All right. So I lose. Okay, so that's actually a good thing in this case. You both notice at the same time that it was a metal like a fire escape style stair, but behind you it's curled up like in a Tim Burton movie or something. Like it's curled up into a twist, and it's not touching the ground anymore. Like if you wanted to go back down, you'd have to jump. You didn't see it, you didn't hear it move, but it is definitely not touching the ground.
Alright, this time I want to say you should have your camera
Oh, my camera's always out.
out.
How did you do? This is really scary. This is totally something that's really happening, you guys. Type F for spooked.
Someone wants to know about the station's gravity. Does the station have gravity? Like, it's clearly got some, we've established.
It's definitely low gravity because that's how they sold it to the elderly.
Oh, yeah. It's,
Yeah.
but not like super low, not
No.
like moon low, just like
No.
like 90%.
Yeah.
Like you got moon boots from Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Just bouncing
that's-
around kind of thing.
Taking steps, it's like, it's not just caution, it's this
Well-
feels weird.
So, basically, a person who weighs 100 kilograms would be weighing 90 kilograms
Yeah.
in this gravity.
Yes.
Or 200 pounds would be 180
Thank you.
pounds.
There you go.
10% less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10% less. So, but that's nice. That means you can carry more stuff.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Loot.
More Borgars.
Yeah, more burger. Yeah, border. So yeah, so that's the gravity. But yeah, so the stairs are a bit weird.
They're weird, they're curled up.
Yeah.
But they're not currently moving.
No. And you never saw them move.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's one of those things when as soon as you don't look at it, it can move, but as long as you look at it, it's fine.
Well, why don't we test that?
Okay.
Like you do.
What could go wrong with
I
that?
mean, you've got the camera.
Let's find out.
Okay. So we look away from the stairs, but leave the camera pointed at the stairs?
You look away from the stairs.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
go up a little higher.
Okay. You don't seem to notice any change, but
You just got
you-
going on like.
you you put a foot down and what happens to your foot?
To my foot?
Yeah.
There's something really wet and sticky, but like the kind of viscous that like my shoe's stuck.
Oh.
And like it's either gonna take a serious force to get my shoe out, or I'm gonna have to take the shoe off.
Okay. I like that.
It's very wet, and like you can just hear from the sound of it that like whatever it is, it's gross.
It's like stepping in oatmeal.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it makes me think of.
Oatmeal that's made of blood, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Blood.
Blood meal.
That's something else.
Yes. Ah.
Blood oatmeal. It's like what British Amish people would eat.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with the Brits then.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Having to go. Having to go.
I'm gonna go with the grits.
Should always have a go with the Brits.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
gonna go with the grits, huh?
Okay.
I
So-
heard the squish,
Is that
and that is like actually oatmeal is what I thought of
Yeah.
with my food service
And like both
background.
of us stop and like look at each other, and neither of us look down.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a camera shot of your eyes panning to each other. But yeah, nobody is looking down right now.
You suffered great defeat.
Oh, damn it. Okay, that is
But-
6.
Oh wow! So the camera, however, the camera does look at your foot. Tell me about your shoe. What's your shoe look like?
Well, it was fashionable,
Okay,
and now it's
define that. Was it a boot? Was it?
it's like a sneaker, you know,
Okay.
like the fancy future Nikes or whatever.
Yeah.
But now there's something like black and viscous and oily and moving. Like it's definitely creeping upward rather than retreating as gravity would suggest.
Yeah. Those are actually Mina's nails. I did not do my nails this morning. I told myself I was going to, but then I ended up doing more video editing. No, mine are.
We'll do Liv's nails next time.
We have matching tattoos though.
We do? Look at that. Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Now
But
it's your turn.
yeah.
Okay, your turn.
But yeah, we see that in the camera, and we see the sludge just sort of like move slightly.
But I don't see that.
No.
But my fans are like messaging the fuck out of my stream. Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
And we're actually seeing that overlaid on the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Because this is like a modern movie where they show you the instant messenger program.
Yeah.
Like it's the new Sherlock
J-horror.
Holmes.
Yeah.
We make the sound effect.
Which leg?
The right one.
Okay.
Okay.
Second.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna like kind of just doesn't even want to. She kind of glances down. She sees the ooze moving, and that causes her to kind of back up.
What?
Don't look down.
Okay.
Don't look down.
Okay. I'm gonna look down. I have to look down.
Don't look down.
But it's my foot.
I don't think it's your shoe anymore, though. All right, I'm gonna do a thing. Oh God! Like everything in her is screaming to just like run, just bolt up the stairs, and she's trying really hard not to bolt up the stairs. She wants to just, click around the back of Invisigosity and give like a little pull.
Okay, pop it out. Sure.
Pop it out.
Okay, yeah, you pop out of your shoe,
Huh?
and where do you guys go from there? Do you guys go up now?
Screaming upward.
Okay.
Just like
Okay.
cloud of dust.
Cut to the weird body cam that's pointed right at my face, bouncing.
So right now we cut to after the movie is released. One of the reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes gives it a positive rating because we have addressed using horror. We have addressed the Japanese custom of taking your shoes off whenever you enter a building.
There it is.
We don't even game, set, and match.
We are now cinematic.
Review,
Okay.
taking off shoes. It's true to form.
Yeah. Basically, this is the Ginkan scene.
This is the horror game.
Oh no.
You don't take off your shoes. We'll make you take your shoes off.
Oh, that's what it was. It was
could be
just
a-
mad.
It was just mad. We didn't take our shoes off.
Sludge.
Okay, Brian, you're looking for a key. What weirdness do you find?
Well, look, I'm in a mess of this.
Actually,
place.
they're running upstairs.
Yeah.
Like, does that catch your attention?
Well, remember, I had to go to the medical office floor, right?
Yeah.
So how
Well,
many
no, it's the
stairs
same
are there?
floor.
Oh, it's
Like,
the same floor.
yeah, the lobby
Okay.
has to have the primary first aid area.
Fair enough. I mean, I've already been making noise up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not subtle about looking around for this key.
Yeah, but they haven't been paying attention.
So your question was what?
Boom, 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 boom. Like, they're running up
We
metal
are
stairs.
flying up metal stairs as fast as we can.
I am taking the gun that I shouldn't have,
Oh.
and I'm pointing it at the stairway,
Oh, okay. Sure. All right.
and I may possibly shoot someone.
I'm gonna take your
So we're
may
going to
possibly and
strangers
raise
in
you-
this round.
I'm gonna take your may possibly and raise you a oh yes definitely.
Okay. So, actually, why don't you make a shot?
All right.
But let's say, well, like, what happens if on the good roll, something cool happens?
On the good roll. Ah. How wacky tacky do you want this to happen?
Go for it.
Okay, on the good roll.
75%, Brian.
On the good roll, I don't actually get the shot. I look down and notice that the keys are right there on the desk.
Oh.
And get distracted by it.
Okay.
The bad shot is that
Someone gets nicked.
someone's gonna get hit in the shoulder.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So let's make that a roll.
Ooh. I mean, you can't hold a gun and not have ids, so let's go ahead
And there's the politics. Gun versus ghosts. Yeah, no, never works well when it's gun versus ghosts.
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit the 25.
Okay. 25 id.
I can't make one of these work.
Yeah.
right.
Make it work.
Make it work. Okay. Ooh, this is a story, and you know what?
Oh, no.
I told myself that I was going to bring this gun here, not for protection, but because I wanted to shoot something. I'm not going to miss out. I am going to shoot something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were afraid of missing out. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, so straight
I'll go
50,
with 50.
or you...
I'll go with 50.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to just go with 50. That's fine. Alright, so. And keys. Not keys. Double eights.
Okay. So, does someone want to volunteer to get hit?
I feel like it has to be me, but maybe that's just my
That's
play
fine.
style.
No.
I mean, if you think she would have gotten in front,
You just pushed past.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, I'm up. I'm good.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Wait. Chat.
yeah, let chat decide.
Chat.
Chat.
Should it be
Quickly write down the 3 people and vote.
3 people.
Well, no, there's only 3.
Yeah, that's why you said 3. Like Brian? Brian shoots
He can
himself?
shoot himself.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm assuming
yes.
he's an American, right?
Shoots
Right.
himself
Ulysses.
in the foot, trying to get the gun out of his bag.
Ulysses.
Or it ricochets.
Yeah. Ulysses,
Oh, fuck
Invisigoth.
The secret here is that my character actually has never fired a gun.
it.
Of course he has.
But he has 3.
Oh, God.
But he's never fired.
You need to watch a playthrough of the game clean suit.
Or the nice one.
Jamie.
Jamie.
EY.
Yeah, it is.
Jamie.
1, 2,
Okay,
3. What do you got?
guys.
Yep, vote real quick.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, or 3. 1 is Ulysses, 2 is Invisa, and 3 is Janie. Sorry, Janie.
Oh, no. Okay,
Oh.
I mean-
1 for Jamie.
It looks like we also have 1 for Mina, so 1 for Invisigoth.
Sure, let's call that one. Sure.
If it's for Janie, it's that Survivor's Guild's going to go away real quick.
Yeah.
Well, that is that. Why do you think she didn't just run up the stairs instead of like pulling somebody? Like, I'm not gonna let you just stay here stuck in the muck.
Alright.
Alright, looks like we only got the 2 votes, so it's between me and Janie.
Okay,
Come on,
that's
guys,
fair.
tiebreaker it.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go.
Loser gets shot.
Loser good shot. Okay. Scissors, paper. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, Mina gets shot.
Of course.
Okay.
We're
Got this
helping.
shot.
The chat says we're helping.
So the way that injury works in Maschine Zeit, there's 2 kinds of injury, and it's on a percentage-based system. We have what is called core injury, and we have what is called conditional injury. And basically, every item, everything that you could get hurt by, has 2 ratings. And so, like for example, in this case, handgun is going to have a 30 core and a 10 conditional. And what this means is that if you have less than 30% whenever you get hit by this weapon or this source of injury, you go to that level. If you have that much or more, then you take the condition, or you take the conditional. And so in this case, Mina's going to take 30 core, but no conditional. And the reason we call it conditional is that you can use your conditions that you make in rolls, like if you get extra conditions because you rolled really well, you can spend them to accrue additional conditional injury. So like if you were hurting something and you spent 3 conditions, you would do 30%. And then basically at the end of the scene, we find out if you survive.
Death rarely happens in the middle of the scene.
It happens between
You
scenes.
bleed out between.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Now, yeah, it almost always happens between scenes. And basically every little thing from being like stabbed with a pencil to like being shot with a gun or falling off a building has a chance of killing you. Or it has a chance of making things worse. We do what's called a stabilization roll at the end of the scene. But let's figure out what happened here. Mina gets shot. Ah!
Huh? You shot me!
You done running up those stairs all fast.
Because there's stuff and then you shot me and I've been shot and I don't have a shoe! I don't think Invisigoth is dealing well.
No. She needs to take a nice big glass of Coke.
Nice big glass. That's a nice big glass of Coke, is what that is.
I'm gonna attempt to lock the stairwell behind us.
Okay, there's a door. You shut it.
Shut it. Lock it with the bolt.
What the hell are you running from?
Put that away.
What is
I'm
wrong
not gonna
with
shoot you.
Guns are illegal here.
Yeah, how did you get in the gun?
Because if he acknowledges that they're illegal, obviously the gun will cease to exist, and I will therefore not have been shot, because that's how that works.
Okay.
Just okay, sure.
So let's see if you're stable though.
Oh my god, yes, her audience is screaming that they're going to murder him.
Yeah. Ulysses is canceled.
So canceled.
Docs.
Hashtag get him.
Okay, so let's see how your stability goes.
Sure.
The way that stability works in Maschine Zeit is that at the end of a scene where you have taken harm, new injury, you add up your conditional, your core and conditional damage, and you roll them together. In this case, it's only 30. The idea is, though, you want to fail because you're rolling for the injury to take hold. You want to roll high.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to roll above your.
That
condition.
said, if you want, you can use a dramatic element to change that by 25. You could change it from 30 to 5.
Please, as well as I've been
Oh, yeah,
rolling,
Mina
why
rolls
would I-
really
I
well.
mean, come on now.
So yeah, you want to roll
Yeah.
high, 30 or higher, 31 or higher. 78.
All
Okay,
right.
you are stable. It was just a nick,
Okay. It
but
doesn't feel like a nick.
yeah, the idea is with the core and conditional injury though is that in horror stories, typically the first thing that hits you hurts bad, so it gives this big number that sounds scary. Additional hits aren't really that scary. So in a horror movie, you might have a character who gets shot, and it's awful, and they bleed out and die. But if you have a character that gets shot 3 times, it's not a big deal. It's not that much different than the single shot. Actually, we don't have a rule for it being beaten by 25, I don't think. Let me double check. Stabilization. It's been a while since I've read this rule. Okay, so if you were to succeed, which is to say if you got a good roll, you would take an additional 25 injury, or double your current injury level if that's
So
lower.
I rolled 15.
Yeah, if you rolled 15, then you would go up to 55, and you would have to check again.
Ah.
Because you can basically bleed out from anything, like I said.
Right.
Okay. No, I don't actually have any rules for if you do a particularly good roll, like if you get 100 or whatever.
Okay.
I figured that would just complicate things a little bit much. So, anyway.
And Visigoth is bleeding.
Yeah.
I put the gun away. I'm like,
I'm
there's
gonna,
a lady over here banging behind some glass.
And we're bleeding. Okay, so I throw my pack
Fine,
down.
I know what I'm doing.
And I'm like getting out my little
What?
first aid kit, and
Okay.
like this is not a kit that is equipped for bullet wounds.
Oh
but
my
I'm
god,
gonna
I think I'm gonna throw up again.
I'm gonna like
It's a sock and some scotch tape.
no, it's like one of those dinky little bottles of like antibacterial
Sure.
wash that I'm just gonna
Apple
put
cider
over
vinegar,
it,
like,
and then
it's just-
like stick a piece of gauze on there and just have her hold.
Let's
like,
put
get it
together a
hold
roll
there.
then. That's
Sure.
fine. Every condition you can heal her up to 10%.
Okay.
The initial one will also do 10% basically. So.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, let's throw together a roll.
Alright. I am using my intuition on this guy. I don't know what the fuck to do with the balloon. I'm
Okay.
just kind of like,
But your gut
It's-
knows.
it's like, but it's just a scrape. It's just with a big piece of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
Now, the cool thing about this is, as far as for the mechanics go, she could use any one of her 3 things right now. Her survivor guilt, her waitress, or her intuitive, and they would all have the exact same mechanical effect. The numbers would be identical, but what matters is how it reflects in the story. Think about how it would be if she was patching this person up as a waitress and making that argument. That's a completely different thing. And survivor guilt. what that means in the narrative is completely different. But she's using intuitive this time. So use one or two of your elements.
Okay. I'm just gonna use my ego, like just use my inner
Okay. You're
thought
gonna
of
use
like what I think is
a high number or a low number? What are you gonna use?
I'm gonna use my 25.
Okay.
Because I'm like, oh god.
Okay, we're up to 25 so far. Do you want to spend anything else or use a dramatic element? Up to you.
50.
50. Sorry,
50.
my bad. 50.
Okay, 50.
You have a 50-50 chance of helping her or making it worse.
Yay! Let's make the fires better.
The smell of blood actually makes me a little nauseous.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm helping, but I'm also like, yeah, okay. Oh, it's kind of there's definitely a sense of trying to help while also creating distance because there's something that's just like that's getting under her skin about it.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that's fine.
Cool.
All right. Make it.
All right.
Under 50 or 50 or under.
50 or under. All right.
And black is high.
Nope.
Oh.
74.
Oh.
Yay!
Okay.
Fires
High
are
rollers
better.
up in here.
Yes.
Wah, wah, wah.
So what do we think happened?
That wasn't rubbing alcohol. Like, that wasn't the right thing you used for that,
Okay.
and I'm having a reaction.
Ah,
Oh, maybe
okay.
you're having a
So it's like an
allergic
allergy or
reaction.
something.
I am take an allergy or something. Take an allergy out of petty cash.
Surprise! Surprise! You're allergic to this.
Yeah, something. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about the.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a mathematical thing right now.
Right.
Okay. So you got someone bleeding. They're stable. Like she's okay. She can walk. It was just a little nick. You didn't, however, find keys. You shot someone. Completely different thing, actually.
I'm not worried about the shooting thing.
No,
I'm worried
no,
about the keys.
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Our Borgar hero.
Our Borgar hero.
Which, by the way,
Yeah,
I
Borglar.
take this time to burp.
Oh my god.
Look, there's this lady in here. She's banging on the windows. I can't tell what she's saying. The doors are locked. So if you're all done playing Fix Me Up, can we go look for some keys so we can all get out of here and, you know.
Visigoth is like vibrating around the edges with anger, but she doesn't know like what to do with it, so she's just kind of standing there with her jaw totally hanging up, shaking.
Hold that hashtag.
I don't even know what to tweet. I am so angry.
I'm so angry right now.
She tries to type "can't even" and gets as far as "ca."
Yeah.
Janie is just staring down at her like, I have served so many assholes just like this.
And you know he doesn't tip.
Oh yeah, no, he don't tip. He probably even writes a little note that's like, oh sorry, I don't have lots of cash right now, but your service is good. You're cute.
My tip is John 3:16.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
No, Ulysses is
Hashtag
he's,
vengeance.
he's focused.
Yeah.
It's like, come on now, just go on, help me in this room here. We just gotta find some keys or something around here. We can get out of here and go back and have some civilized food. I mean, you can have
don't
whatever
even
you
say
want.
anything. I just walk past, like going towards the sound of the banging.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There's someone.
And I look really quite distressed by this. This is really
Motioning to the person like, yeah, see? This is what I mean.
There's a lot of
Okay,
gesticulation for the
so-
feed, if you don't know.
Yeah,
a lot
there's-
of
So obviously,
Well,
she
this
needs,
is happening.
obviously she needs saving, so, you know, we gotta get in the door.
Do you want to try and open it? It's probably on the computer system.
Yeah, I was gonna check there next.
I'm just like my trusty pack runs at the pack,
Okay.
and I get out a little piece of paper with a pen, and I'm just slowly, I'm like, oh god. And I draw arrows in different directions. Yeah, let's see.
As she sees you writing down something, she writes something down too.
Okay.
Because now that we've established one of us can read, she's very excited.
She thinks.
Oh yay, Pictionary. Oh.
I'm over here, I'm on like arrow number 2.
That's not how you spell that.
How? That's somebody's name?
Are you for real right now? And then, so like I abandoned my arrows for just a second, and I put like a question mark inside. And I draw a little, I try to draw a key. Or a key card, perhaps.
She takes her note,
and I'm like drawing arrows.
flips a page.
Intense thinking going on, folks.
There's some translation happening right now. Is what's happening. There's the bloody goth over there.
Deep in thought.
Yeah,
now.
you're a goth.
Legit. Oh
Now
my
you're
god,
legit
I totally
goth.
bled for my channel. I'm gonna be so famous. Oh god, I'm gonna die.
Don't use your intuitive.
Let's just guess.
Like.
Snap.
Yeah, using the phone. Like.
Oh fuck this! I go find a computer to go poke at, cause like language, people.
I'm gonna follow the girl who walked in front of my gun.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna just make sure she's not gonna sue me.
Okay.
I'm going over to find the nearest computer to sue him with.
Your character's agenda is tort reform. Okay. So, yeah, you go to the nearest computer. There is one at the front lobby desk, like the check-in desk. And it's live. It's on aux power.
I literally thought of a big bovine animal for just a second, and I'm better now.
Oh, aux power. Yeah.
Is that?
That is a pun.
that
Yeah.
is a pun.
Janie's
Sorry,
sitting
guys.
there, like she's like, I studied on the plane.
I studied on the plane. Konnichiwa.
It's like.
Actually, did you bring because that's a pretty
Yes.
easy one.
Yeah,
That-
I have my book. I have my. I
Yeah.
have my
So
book.
let's see if you have it on you.
Check my. Yeah, no, it's in here.
Oh, it's in here. Okay.
It's
Okay.
It's in my pack.
All right.
Anyway, it's in my pack.
So yeah,
It's in my pack.
it's not very hard to look up katakana, and it's Pasokon,
And
it's computer, so it's telling you computer.
All right.
I'm
You're on to
it.
something.
Of course I am. I'm a genius who doesn't shoot people.
Janie is sitting here like, I'm preferring this one.
Okay, so Mina, you're at the computer. Where's the camera while you're on the computer?
Pointed at my excellent face.
Okay, it's on your face.
It's
The
on
face,
my
you've got a
excellent
little
face.
glow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing you from the front.
Yes.
All right, that's fine.
You can see that I have definitely been shot, and this is totally not makeup.
Okay,
How fucking badass.
I meant the camera for the movie.
Oh, the movie? Yeah, the movie is like where the
Yeah.
the computer screen would be, and is up on
With
my
me
face.
just kind of pacing
Yeah.
behind.
Okay,
Just off
Surely a
the-
genius wouldn't get shot. Look, don't call me Shirley.
all right. What's our stakes here?
Rare.
Rare. No, if I find it, what are our stakes?
Can someone type pun 9 while Mina's
Yeah.
determining the stakes?
Thank you. We gotta keep track of this shit. The stakes are it's an automatic door, and it just needs to be opened with a password, which can
Okay.
be easily done if I figure the system out.
Sure.
And the like it fails is I'm temporarily locked out.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, system goes on security lockdown.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so we're doing my streamer again. That's 25. Just the whole thing vents and everybody is fired out into space. So, I need to look good on this one. So I'm actually going to use 2 of my egos.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Because, like, no room for failure this time.
That's a good question. What would a security lockdown entail? Think of things while she makes the roll. So she's using 2 25s on top of that, so that's a 75 base.
And I've been rolling consistently over 76, so that should be
Do
fine.
you want to use a dramatic element and make it 100%?
Fine, let's make it 100%.
Okay, I'll just put that
I'm
over
going to
here.
roll a 2.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Okay, go ahead. Roll under 100.
Roll
Dramatic
Me.
element. Who coined that term?
Me.
We're at 10
Oh,
now.
Jesus Christ. Brian!
54.
And of course, now's like the lowest roll.
54, that's not that bad.
100%.
So, she had a 100% chance of success. However, whenever you roll 1 to 5, it's what we call a miraculous element happens, which is to say you don't necessarily succeed. Like you could have a 0% chance of success, but you still get a miraculous element, which is something really cool that happens. It's just like the normal miraculous condition. It's just like the normal conditions, except there are some better rules for it. And the other way around is if you roll a 96 to 100, you always get a tragic condition. You still win, but something awful happens.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, you didn't get that though. In this case, you have 2 conditions because it's every 25 under,
Right.
rounded up,
Right.
and you got 54. So you have succeeded. The door pops open, and then 2 other things happen.
And 2 other things happen. I will carry over some security clearance to the next scene.
Okay.
Like I've got some good access vibe
Okay.
on that.
Next scene, you have security clearance.
Yeah, and and my stream explodes. So my user pool, therefore the amount of information I could get randomly from people doing my Google searches for me, has just increased significantly.
Okay. You get a lot of followers for purposes of this. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
You just got so many new subscribers.
I just burst.
Yeah, it's not often that people see people get shot live.
You're
Right.
welcome.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's taking credit for it.
That's why I'm not telling you. I got it, and I didn't even have to shoot anybody to open the door.
Could argue you're shooting yourself with a camera.
So I kind of I give the woman a thumbs up from the other room.
She steps outside and looks around, and she's like wide-eyed.
Oh.
ありがとうございました。
Oh, wow.
Ah, ego, しゃばない。
Oh, okay. Alright. That's why we have phones.
Yes.
I'm literally just saying loudly to her in the room. So,
Ask her name.
I was gonna ask what happened here, but okay. Name. Janie.
Ah, 名前
Janie. I'm like poking my chest over and over
あ
again.
なたのそ
So,
うもうわからない
Oh!
All right, Miss Wakanai.
No, that's not. Are you?
You said
Are you
Janie,
for
she
real?
said Wakanai. I think that's her name.
Did you even bring a phrase book?
Why?
Can't.
Did you think we were going to sushi restaurants up here? What did you think was going to happen when we went up
Her
the
name
elevator?
is Jane Doe. She has amnesia.
I'm sorry. Are you a doctor? I gotta tell you, I've never seen a doctor look like you before.
What the hell does that mean?
It means what it means.
There's a lot of porn on this computer. Like a lot.
Flashback.
Okay, flashback.
Flashback. Nursing school.
Sure.
Haha. No.
She can't keep it together when she's sticking people.
Yeah.
It's like it reminds her too much of what she had to do at home for her mom all the time, and doing it on other people. It just brings up memories.
Mm.
She was like, I could do this. I can help people, but it's just this montage of her just failing really basic like needle sticks and little stitching exercises and things because she just can't keep it together. And so yeah, she dropped out. She's a dropout. So yeah. Thanks for that.
So.
And then she rushes to Mina's character.
That's
And
my porn.
she's like looking at your
Yeah,
shoulder.
she shuts the window like.
And then she looks at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
I just make
Listen.
finger guns.
Whoa, we're not threatening people here, okay? Put that down.
I make finger guns. Hang on, where's my finger guns?
Baka.
So.
So, Miss Wakanai,
Oh my god.
if you can just...
If you don't stop, you need to stop. You need to just stop. Just stop.
That's funny. That's funny coming from some people that were yelling running up some stairs. When did you stop? Not in time. That is the question. That is the answer to the question.
You can't dodge bullets. What do you think this is? Okay.
I was protecting myself from an unidentified threat.
The point
We
is,
gotta
so
go.
you
Shoot first and ask questions.
Anyways, that door
later?
looks open. All right. I'm taking my duffel bag
There's
and
gross
going
goo
in.
downstairs. There's like a monster
Yeah,
downstairs.
there's gross screw everywhere.
No.
That's what happens when you leave food in space.
No. Like, do you see her wearing a shoe?
No, and that is weird, but then most of the things
She
about
pats your
you-
shoulder over and over.
Ow,
The other
ow.
shoulder.
Oh.
She pats your shoulder over and over, and then she runs off to a closet and comes back with a pair of shoes. They're house slippers, but
Thank
Question.
you.
Are they your size?
no.
Thank you.
They are Japanese L size.
Oh, so we.
I get
Honestly.
another piece of paper and I try to like draw the weird
I'm inside that room with my duffel bag open.
squiggly
Just throwing stuff in there.
gooey. Here's the shoe.
I'll even give a good old mission accomplished.
Heck of a
Heck of a
job,
job.
Browning.
Good job.
Like showing it to the lady.
She tilts her head and goes,
For those of you playing along at home, is Japanese for no, but I don't want to say no because that's rude.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Look, I'm doing it and I'm not moving forward. Amazing.
okay. So, you now have 2 shoes, effectively.
Okay.
First name Goody. Last name Two Shoes.
Okay.
I'll show you goody two-shoes.
I don't know if that counts as a pun. Not a proper sense.
Nope.
No. Okay, we're good.
No, that's just cringe.
That's just cringe. That's just Brian. Well, that's a different color. Anyhow, why are we up here? Because I'm starting to think that was a mistake. Can we go back now?
My character cannot hear you but the sound of cha-ching, cha-ching.
Sadly, though, it's just on his phone. He's got a button. He's just pushing it.
He listens to like motivational speakers on his like.
In his earphones.
Yeah. Self-acclamation. Or just
Oh God.
You're good enough. You're smart
financial
enough.
gurus.
And gosh darn it, you attract what you want. It's a house secret. Just have to take my word for it.
Okay.
Okay. Janie is pulling up Slurl Dictionary.
Sure.
Just pulling up words associated with the space.
Sure.
Just trying to like jog this woman's memory. Like, who you?
Why don't you give me a you're an intuitive person, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you give me a roll to assess her behavior?
Okay.
Ulysses' secret is the secret.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can only
Right.
assess her value.
Let us know.
Where's my question mark?
Where's my question mark?
What happened to it?
Oh, it just
We had a brief disconnection.
You want to make sure it didn't. Okay.
Okay, cool. They're back.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, back to Sacha. 34. All right. 34. So that's going to give you the success. You're going to figure out, and the thing that you're going to figure out in this case is that she's suffering from complete amnesia.
Absolute, total.
100%
Doesn't even
amnesia.
recognize what phrases things are.
And you get
Okay.
one other condition, one other thing to declare.
Ooh. Ooh. It's tricky. I'm going to say that into the next scene,
Mm-hmm.
due to Janie's friendliness,
Mm-hmm.
that this woman is going to be an extra pair of eyes for her.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Looking out for.
But yeah, she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what's going on.
In this day and age, it's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to move things along a little bit, I'm going to give a little flashback. This is an off-screen flashback where she is doing some sort of science on a person with a couple of other people. And that's all we see. It's just a little flash.
Dr. Walker.
And like, yeah, she shudders a little and realizes that, but that's she realizes that she's a doctor or some shit. But not much more. Not yet. Okay.
Okay.
Scene.
Scene.
Next scene. What's next scene?
I'm filling my bag.
Okay, he's filling his bag with medical supplies.
Yep, I'm looking for the stuff that's in bottles with labels that look like they haven't been cracked or opened.
You're good with computers.
Yes.
I'm assessing the most valuable of these.
This is in the background. You see.
Tasting stuff.
There are some things like cancer medications that go for like $8,000 or whatever.
This tastes like speed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're good with computers. Do you you think you could pull me up a list of the names of people?
Everything that's registered, sure, but a lot of these accounts, they have all sorts of unregistered people up here. That way they don't have to pay taxes on them.
Right.
It's a temporary work share thing. It's really complicated and it's kind of illegal, but not really, that kind of thing.
Janie's just like deer in the headlights.
Okay.
That's fine. I can give you the names for her.
Oh, you want me to look for a specific name? Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So to teamwork, basically you both contribute elements to the role.
Cool.
And you're both subject to the penalties if you screw up.
Okay. Well, I've still got a good. Oh no, that's for next scene. Is this next scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have.
You have security access.
Right. Okay.
It's just a question of finding what you're looking for.
Right. So can I tap into that security access? Is that a thing that I get points for, or it's
No.
just a thing that's true?
It's just a thing that's true.
Okay. All right. Well then, let use my super ego because I'm not super invested in helping other people, but I know it. I do technically know it's the right thing.
Okay, so a 15. All right.
And this is definitely the Survivors Guild
Okay.
coming into play.
Okay.
Um,
So 25 for the base, and then 50 or 10 or 15. Sorry. So we got 40, but you need to spend something.
Yeah.
Oh, and my streamer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no.
No,
Still only one
just-
personal element.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys can spend more stuff to have more than.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, no free stuff.
Yeah, I am kind of just doing what I feel is proper
Okay.
in this situation.
That'll
so
kick
add
it up
another
to 60.
60.
Okay.
Those are.
Alright.
Okay, so roll 60 or under. Wait, what's the what's gonna be the stakes here? What's the bad thing?
The bad thing.
Like, clearly finding the person is the good thing.
Yeah.
The information we find is something she's not ready to know.
Ah! Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so roll 60 or under.
Right?
Wait. 10.
1.
One.
Oh, 1. Yeah, 1.
Holy shit.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so that's not only a success, but that is actually 3 normal conditions and a miraculous condition.
Holy
That's like the
shit.
best possible roll.
Yeah, we need to have little, like, bloops.
Well, miracle. Wait.
Like a unicorn
Miracle.
fart.
There we go.
Okay, so essentially you're going to find that person's information.
Okay.
That's easy. And then you're going to get
Okay.
three other things are going to happen, and then a miraculous condition.
Okay.
Miraculous conditions are a little different than normal conditions.
Miraculous.
In that they affect the whole. They can affect the whole team at once
Mm.
instead of just one person. They can remove a character from play for a scene. They can make an edit or retcon of a previous condition. They can affect the whole story, not just for the scene. Or they can restore 25% of a person's health.
I'm good, thanks. That would be weird. Could you imagine? Just like,
Are we just
my
throwing things
shoulder
out?
feels better.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw something out.
Yeah.
They're alive.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's a normal condition.
Oh, is it?
Actually, no, I would say that's a miraculous condition because
Because
that
that
affects the
retcons
breadth
that-
of the story.
But what
Yeah.
that means, generally speaking, is that if we do anything to rescue them, they're getting out. We
Yeah.
might not, but they are.
Yeah.
Mm.
That means that they get out no matter what, but then we might not.
Do they fix the lights?
Ooh, do the lights come back on?
Mm.
That's
That's
a
not a miraculous.
that's a normal condition.
Yeah.
Normal condition. Okay, we got
Aziz light.
ideas. Lights come back on.
Okay.
Power. Lights, power.
Okay, so we have normal power now.
Normal power.
Okay, 2 other things.
Oh, right.
um.
Other things opening up. How about all the doors open?
I mentioned that one before.
All of the doors
All
open.
doors opening.
For better or worse.
Yes, exactly. All doors open.
Including the one you just shut before in this deck. Wow. You know.
That was analog.
Was it?
We'll find
Mm.
out.
Was.
All doors open. And ooh. Let's power all doors open.
What's a basic need?
Well, you get the doctor's name. It's not a good thing. Not
Well,
necessarily a good thing, but you got the name.
Already got the doctor's
Hang on.
Should we explain the joke?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've been translating it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They're alive. It's alive. What if we get the doctor's name, but that's tied in with the miraculous that was her doctor?
Yeah, we found the solitaire. We just spend the rest of the game session playing Spider Solitaire together.
Yeah, sure. The doctor's name.
Taco vending machine boots up.
We'll say her name is Tanaka. And she was your relative's doctor.
Yep. Not patient.
Okay.
Massive side eye. Okay, well, I know where I need to go.
Yeah.
I think I'm having more of a moment of like, I need to sit down.
Alright. So
Like, I don't look so good.
So what happens to prevent you from being able to sit down for long? Right? Like,
Yeah.
something's gotta happen.
Well, okay, so I'm going to interject something because I can. So I'm going to interject that since the lights and the power went back on, the bed robot steps out of the elevator and the elevator starts going back down.
We all sat there looking shocked for a second, which again does not translate well when you're looking at her whiteboard.
Son of a.
Expletive removed.
Yeah.
Redacted.
The robot is very big, and it is moving in your general direction. It has like a search eye type thing, like a light on its front that is angled towards the four of you.
Whoa.
Do you think it wants to put us to bed?
I don't want to go to bed at this point.
Kore wa nan desu ka?
Yeah, that's a not a desk. I think I'm starting to understand. It's starting to come through.
You need to study more.
I need to wait until the
I
elevator
think-
comes back up.
Maybe we should move. She's moving. Like she's got her hand on her pack and she's like slowly
What are you
like
looking at?
backing up.
It's just a dumb robot.
It's a really big robot and it looks really
Invisigoth has now
soft.
disappeared under the desk.
It's got damn pillows for hands.
Did you say pillow?
Yeah. Pillow.
That's not the last thing I want to hear before I fucking die.
Pillow. Hello.
Pillow.
So Brian,
Brian.
you're the one that's not doing anything right now.
Yeah.
What's happening to you?
What's happening to me? I mean, I've got a duffel bag that's pretty heavy right now. It's kind of, I was really expecting just kind of like one and done this, but now this is annoying. And I'm like, we can get the elevator to come back up. It's fine.
Yeah, tell me about your relationships with this robot's movement right now.
I mean, I'm probably just not even acknowledging it as a person. I'm just like turning my back to it, looking at them, being like,
Okay.
oh, a bunch of like, it's just a dumb robot.
So Brian, let's talk about dice rolls to not get
You didn't see the gesture Liv made, and you're glad you didn't.
It's basically just a spatula gesture.
It's
Yeah.
or if you've ever been a proctologist.
With a bed.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about rolls.
Yeah.
I really don't want to pull my fear of missing out here. I think my ego is gonna have to take effect here.
That
I'm
makes
gonna have
sense.
to root that in my ego, kind of like, yeah. Even though you're not stupid, like it's coming for something, but let's not have any sort of like illusions about being completely safe here.
Yeah.
I think given the information that we found out, I'm gonna use my speculator. Like, I'm more interested in the computer. I want to start like, you know, researching it. Maybe we go find this person because that's a lot of money. You know, not just fame for some people, which is important, but money
That makes
for,
sense.
for rewards.
So we're working off of what's your ego? What ego are you
I'm going
using?
for a 15.
Okay, so we've got 40.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay, well 40 or above. 40 below. 40 below.
40 below. Whoop whoop.
39.
Oh my god!
Shit. Okay.
39.
That is looking somewhere else.
All right. So
How close is this happening? How close do I get out of this?
let's say it mistakes your duffel for a person,
No.
and essentially it's trying to lift you and help you get to bed. So it slams the one of the cots into your duffel, which like literally like explodes into nothingness. This is very bad. If this was you would be dead.
I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about all the money that fell on the damn floor.
And then it lifts parts of what was your bag, but maybe half of it, and you hear like a do 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 do
Like you do.
do do
Yeah.
do do do.
Oh my god.
That's nice. Blam, blam, blam.
Okay, you want to use your condition to shoot it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. All right. So
I just want to blast it in the face enough that I feel better. I know I'm not trying to destroy it. I'm just like, I just want to feel better about what just happened.
Okay, so
There we go.
yeah. Let's say you shoot it. You shoot it in the face. In the search eye thing, and you do 10 conditional harm to it. The glass of the search eye busts and reveals a human eye. Ah! A very large human eye. It's about 3 inches wide.
Somewhere in another world, some people are thinking, how did that eye get in that little bobble up there? And in the future. Okay. I'm going to.
I'm leaving. I'm
yeah,
going.
on the back, I'm gonna be
I'm
like,
going.
well, that's unsettling, but
Janie is her. She's like, whoop.
I'll just take what I can off the ground and just back up from this thing while he's putting something to sleep.
All right. What are
I
you all
hope
doing?
you're. She's kind of doing the power walk. I hope you're all following me.
Mina,
I am running like a bitch.
same direction as Sacha's running.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Following Janie.
You and Ginny are running. The doctor is sort of confusedly running on after you guys. Brian, you are trying to get your stuff off of the ground.
Well, whatever I can, in just one fell swoop. I'm not trying to like stay and gather.
Okay, grab shit.
Like with stuff.
Yeah, grab shit. Yeah, make a roll.
All right. The bad thing that's gonna happen, obviously, is that I have to deal with it. Being like, oh, someone else needs to go to bed.
Yeah,
Um.
it's gonna give you a nap time.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta use my FOMO here. I mean, that's money. That's cash money.
This
right
is a
there.
chance. Yeah, you're gonna literally miss out.
And I'm gonna have to use my id. I'm gonna have to use one of my 25s.
Okay,
'cause
sure.
This is the primary reason as to why I'm here. I can't just let that flow. And I'm gonna use one of these.
Okay, and so that gives us a 75.
Yeah.
All right, roll at 75.
For one time.
21. That's actually really good. That'll give you 3 elements or 3 conditions. You will successfully grab a bunch of shit,
Okay.
and then you're gonna make 3 declarations about the scene.
Your declarations about the scene. Well,
Also hurting the thing if you want.
yeah, I'm done hurting it. But I do think that its traction is too old and it's not gonna be able to move that much further.
Okay, this scene.
This scene.
Okay.
Yeah. So this scene. Slow AF. Let's
This
see.
slow A.
This slow AF. Yeah. Let's see. Why don't we go with I grabbed the most expensive stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Build my Singaporean knowledge, most X. And then last one is that it's gotta affect this scene, right?
Yeah.
I want to catch a glimpse of something off of the screen as I run by.
Okay.
Just something maybe about the doctor that they didn't get to see because panic stuff happened.
Oh yeah, sure. We're gonna say license revocation for ethics violations. In big red letters.
Yeah.
In English.
In
somehow.
English. Well, medical
Shit.
documents are oftentimes in English.
Oh, okay.
That's why they have to go to like conferences and stuff for their licenses in English-speaking countries.
Mhm.
Yeah, somebody was saying that you should spend your points because you can't spend them when you're dead. It is point of fact, you can spend them when you're dead
Yeah.
by taking ghost actions. So after your character dies, you can still fuck shit up.
Like 13 ghosts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Basically, your dramatic elements that you have sitting around, you can still spend them after you're dead. You appear, you do ghost things. So basically, that's a way to affect the game after you're dead. One of the ways.
Yeah, but I'm taking off. I'm like,
Okay, you're running. All right, off camera or off screen. You run down the hall after them, and then we see the robot, and the robot's like, the legs are just completely fucking janky and not really working very well.
Because they're wheels, apparently.
But the plastic that is basically holding them, the sort of frame, the casing of it, starts cracking. And it moves, and it's like forcing itself to move. And a piece of it cracks off, and underneath it we see a human knee. A very large human knee. Scene.
And scene.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are we going for?
Next scene. I imagine, because we don't want to do a running scene, do we?
No.
No.
Okay, so you guys are... Next scene.
I think we went in some weird area. Not too weird.
Well, I have the
Maybe
information on. I'm attempting to.
Oh, right. She's got a point,
Make-
a direction to go
I have
to.
a
so-
direction. I'm
Okay.
headed.
Yeah, she knows where she's going, vaguely.
Really.
Okay, where are you going?
I think once we got down the way, we know that we have proper power back.
Right. And all the
Um,
doors are open.
All of the doors are open to us. Probably fled into an elevator.
Okay.
Okay, just a regular
Definitely.
elevator.
Just a regular elevator.
Okay.
Down the hall.
Okay. Yeah, you
Let's
guys...
get off this floor.
You pop in an elevator. We're going to say, we start the scene with you pushing the button.
Pushing buttons.
Everyone's getting in.
I'm kind of guessing on the floor based on the information I
Yeah,
saw.
you know
but-
where that person was supposed to have lived.
So,
It's like the 6th floor.
and
You guys ever heard of the elevator ritual?
what?
Never mind. I'm still bleeding.
Oh, why even ask? It's fine.
You need to
No,
hold.
but
the
I have
press.
heard of
You need to put pressure on it.
I have heard of doctors with ethics violations.
Yeah, that happens a lot, especially up on the stations. Their license get revoked on the planet side, so then they end up having to work up on stations because nobody else will hire them.
You know what's funny?
But
She can't understand it right now, but I saw that she was one of them.
we should not all obviously look at her and let her know what's going on.
Nope.
Okay.
Beef jerky. Yeah, all right, here. I shot you. What?
No, you already picked that. What is wrong with you? Where to start? Like, could you alphabetical? A is for. Asshole. That's right. Very good.
Yeah.
Trying to teach people stuff? What is this?
He was infotainment or edumatation. Edumatation.
Edumatation.
Edumatation is really hot right now. Okay, I cut down those into a whole separate feed. Never mind. I'm still bleeding.
What lullaby do you guys hear?
Is it a lullaby or is it just a nursery rhyme?
That's a good question.
Because I have one in
Okay.
my brain.
Okay. What is it?
3 Blind Mice.
Okay. So, we hear the like music box version of 3 Blind Mice. Do 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 do
That's
do
a Satan
do.
version. I probably don't want that. Oh well.
Yeah. So we hear 3 blind mice. The door to the elevator opens. What do we see?
It's darker on this floor.
Oh, it's darker on this floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's darker on this floor. Doors are open.
Sure.
Doors are open.
I smell. It smells like a dentist's office.
We're just gonna.
See the shadow coming like the Death Star, just like.
These are high effects.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
Can't
get
even
copyrighted.
get a higher budget here.
Nope. I wonder
Okay.
if that'll just play a loop for 20 hours or some shit.
That'd be
Anyhow.
hilarious. And terrifying.
Well, obviously there are 3 entities there.
Yeah.
None of them have eyes. They absolutely should, and we only see them like for a flicker glitch, and then they're gone.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, there are 3 vaguely humanoid shapes that are missing their eyes. But you only see them for a moment, long enough to question your sanity.
Yeah, Jay shakes it off.
My character's looking at his beef jerky. It's imperative.
You're the
that
only
he
one
not-
that doesn't
that
notice.
he not see
Yeah.
any of
He
this.
caught a glance. He's like, nope.
This is
jerky.
This is Brian being aware of his character's arc.
Yep.
Okay.
Otherwise, you would have taken that antacid by now.
Okay. I do need one of you guys to make a callback to something. So, one of the things on the board I want to see.
The burger. Brian lost all his shit in the last thing, right?
Correct.
However, in this case, while I'm like being shocked or something, I fumble my bag. Those healing serums that I found absolutely fall out and hit the ground.
Oh, okay, sure.
But I don't notice that they fell out and hit the ground. And boy, they are glowy and looking valuable, aren't they?
They do. They are like a sort of neon blue. Syringes.
Well, shoes untied.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So you stealthily lean down and pick them up while nobody notices them because they just don't. Like they should by all fucking
should.
right, but they
should.
don't. This
They
is a
should.
horror movie.
I'm focused on finding the right room.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So you're peeking around. Like, you have to, like, turn on a phone or something in order to see. It's dark.
Okay.
I lost my flashlight.
Yeah, I've got to turn that on.
Tell me about the first room.
First room, peek in. It's oddly still well put together,
Mm-hmm.
but there's this sense of time has passed as like the curtains around the beds are fraying, and it's there's no window, but there is where there would be a projection. But instead of a projection, obviously, so we're not running on full power necessarily. So there's just kind of like a please wait, you know, like loading type of screen because
loading sunset.
yeah, basically because the system doesn't understand what time of day it's supposed to be projecting, and nobody is at the helm telling it what to do. So
Okay.
that there's this weird, like, oh, it looks like a lovely little picture-esque window sill, and just like buffering
Okay.
is happening on outside.
All right. Mina, are you poking into doors?
No, I am recovering, like going over my feed to see if the audience saw the same thing that I think they did, and or that I think I did, and asking them what they think I should do, and whatever that is, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so the movie camera, what did they see that makes this scene really weird and different?
They see, you know, it's the selfie shot, like it's the shot like it's from my camera.
Yeah.
And so he's off like checking out his loot separately. She's gone off to
I'm
start.
doing inventory.
Yeah. And I've moved into the hallway after her out of the elevator because I don't want to be in it when it dropped. And I'm checking in with my audience, and they can see something over my shoulder. And like they're all like, "Oh my God, look behind you!"
They describe it.
Right. And I look around, and there's nothing there on my side.
But they see it perfectly.
But they see it perfectly. And if they send me screenshots, it's just fuzz. Like it's just totally glitched out.
Okay.
And revenge.
Okay. All right. I like that. Brian.
I'm doing inventory, but I'm having a flashback.
Okay.
I'm having a flashback to my brother when I was at home.
Sure.
And like I took something from his room. Let's say I took his like favorite video game.
Okay.
And I hid it, not to play it, but so that he couldn't have it.
Ooh.
But I just remember sitting there on the bed and just kind of like he's looking for it, and my parents, like our parents, they get really, really upset that like he lost a game that they had bought for him just recently, and you know he called me irresponsible and everything, and it didn't make me feel too good. So I'm like now coming back and like holding the vials and like looking at her, like looking around.
Do you see something behind me?
Yep.
What?
You drop this.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
I'll split them with you. They're supposed to be regenerative.
No, yeah, that's okay.
All right, cool, thanks.
Okay.
Oh man, no.
Back to Sacha.
Yeah. And each room seems to have a slightly different. They're all identical, but have a slightly different color scheme going on.
Sure.
A little personalization. There's some frames on the
Okay.
walls with.
Tell me when things change.
She gets maybe 4 doors down, and she's pretty sure. She pauses on the number, and she's pretty sure this was the one.
Okay.
And as she goes to push the door open, she's also having a bit of a flashback to all the times that she promised Mom that she was going to visit.
Oh.
And it was just so far away. It was the best place for her, but it was just so far away. It was so expensive, and it was so hard. But she's definitely gonna do it. Like, look, I bought this phrase book. I've got all these cute little like character bags I found on eBay. You know, the future eBay, and like, you know, like I've got them, and I promise, like, I'm gonna come see you. And it never happened. And now here she is, like, standing at the door and, like, pushing her way into the room. Like, almost as though, like, the door is open, but it feels like
there's the emotional
there's
barrier.
that, like, emotional barrier of, like, pushing through into the space that was supposedly her mom's. And
symbolism!
Symbolism! She pushes through, but the room's just like all the other ones. It's empty.
Okay. It's empty.
It's empty. So her first thought is she's trying to find something different, about the room. If she's alive, there has to be something different here. Like, there has to be a sign of being lived in. There has to be a sign. All the other ones look like they were made back up by something in the absence of people, whereas this one, you know, she's banking that there's something different, and she starts digging around, and she does notice that the bed sheet corners don't have the tiny little, like, hospital under, like, triangle thing that they always have to have in that situation. And that's just her one little thing of, like, okay, something is different here.
Okay.
And so she starts digging around, like, she finds a photo of herself, and it's very, like, disconcerting. Like,
there's something weird about the picture.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
There's something weird. She knows it's of her, but something about it, like, doesn't seem right. And the longer she stares at it, the more she realizes that it's like, oh, is it one of those weird things where, like, the eyes are following me? Like, she keeps looking at it from all angles while she's in the room. And then she gets close up on it again.
And there are no eyes.
And there are no eyes.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Okay, she gets close enough and the eyes are missing from the picture. Okay. So, and yeah, we get one of those slow lingering pan shots of it. Whenever she sees it, we see it, and then it just lingers there for a moment. Next scene, Mina.
Okay. You'd see it pop up on the screen. It's just her cell phone number, her message board. Guys, should I take this drug? Several people are typing.
Should I stick this needle in my arm?
Well, I have a hole in it.
Streamers react to blue goo.
Oh my god. I mean, you do have a bullet wound.
I do have a bullet wound, and this is regenerative.
And literally all you were given for it was some antibacterial wash that gave you a reaction.
Neosporin.
Oh,
and
it's
a
getting, like,
piece of
weird
gauze.
and crusty now. Yeah, it's definitely...
Okay.
Things are escalating in Shoulder Town, and, like, this guy
It's
reminded me that I have that
regenerative.
thing. So, you know, maybe on some karmatic level, by giving me back my thingy, he's going to help me be better.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's do a drug. Let's do a drug.
Okay, let's see how that turns out.
Right. What the fuck do I roll? Okay, obsessed with fans. And then let's use our id. Our 25 on id, right? I am super comfortable with a 50-50. This goes good, this goes bad.
Okay.
Okay, so we know it's not actually a regenerative drug because we've already established that in the fiction.
Yeah, I am going to intervene briefly though, because this is my secret. This is my secret,
Yeah.
and it's related. So I will tell you that this is an amnesia serum that Dr. Tanaka gave herself.
Ah, okay.
So reflect that in your answer.
Okay, well, so that's good. That's fine. I'll roll with that. So we know that it's not an amnesia thing, but if it's over 50%, it will have some benefit to me beyond the amnesia.
Sure.
If it's under 50, it's just straight up fucking don't remember shit drug.
Yeah.
So either way, this is a bad plan. But I don't know that because
Okay.
I'm obsessed with my fans. Here we go. Blackest tens. Ha ha!
Wow. Okay.
That
That's an 84.
That's an 84.
Okay.
I am very good at rolling.
So
I roll high, folks.
as far as you're concerned, you're watching someone's stream. Like you're not sure what's going on. Very, very quickly, you realize you're not really sure where you're at.
Okay. Ow! Oh my god. There's a hole in my shoulder, a needle in my shoulder, and I'm watching some stupid lame stream. What is going on? I put this in my arm, didn't I? Why would anyone answer me that? She'll pull the needle out and drop it, like, horrified.
It shatters.
Oh my god. Why am I wearing one house shoe?
Janie definitely peeks her head out at the sound of the glass breaking.
Who are you?
I don't think we were ever actually introduced.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. Who am I?
Okay. She's like looking at the glass. Did you?
I don't know. That was sticking in my shoulder a second ago.
She glances to the good doctor.
What got I?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm Janie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm Janie. Yeah, nice to meet you too, I think. We're just gonna, she kind of like carefully like pushes the broken glass a little bit off to the side so it's not right in the main walkway.
Okay.
Exactly. Who needs ghosts? We'll kill ourselves. You know what? Lakeview Cabin Collection.
Jamie just loses it, just grabs the gun, shoots both of us.
I'll
What the hell with this?
She's getting flightier.
Put your hands up if you don't have amnesia.
Woo!
Anyone?
I'm stuck with this one now.
15, 16, 17.
Did you see what happened?
18, huh?
Did you watch what just happened?
Hi. Nice to
Clearly
meet you.
I did not.
Brian, did you lose count?
Damn it. 1, 2. Why? What happened? 3,
I don't know.
4.
Janie kind of gestures to a bunch of broken glass.
It's one of the
To the
serum
side.
bottles, or serum syringes. It's shattered on the ground.
I have regrets.
It's whatever. It's empty, so whatever was in it is in her.
There's a hole in my shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
There is
Is that the normal default state for the situation?
no.
Okay. Cool.
What situation is that?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to sort out. Really, we need to assess what our core competencies are, what our exits are.
Sorry.
And we start.
Walk on night one, walk on night two.
Well, I'm just saying we're in a circumstance that we don't really understand what's going on, so we really need to figure out, core value, movement. Like we need a plan. A plan. That's the word I was looking for.
You know what? I have an idea. Why don't you ask your phone?
Phones
Yeah, your
can't
stream.
talk. My what?
Ask
Stream?
So the stream you're watching, ask
Oh.
them
Ask them what?
the same questions you're asking us.
Okay. Hey guys, know who I am? Question mark. That goes over really well. And they're all like, yes, duh, ha ha ha. You're so funny.
I think for the first time, though, someone submits a picture, and it's you with the thing behind it.
Oh my god!
You drop your phone.
Drops her phone, spins around, there's nothing behind her.
I'm sorry, what the hell is going on?
I don't
Pick up
And you guys see the phone.
I don't know,
You see one of the things behind her shoulder.
but I don't like it. And I haven't found what I came here for. So I think we
That
need to
is important. So we should do that.
Why did we come here?
What the hell?
Why did we come here? Why are we, where is here? Let's start with the basics. I can talk slower. Do you need me to talk slower?
I think that's a scene cut, actually.
Okay.
That could go on for a long time, but I think that's actually effective.
Alright.
Okay. Next scene.
So the next scene also assumes that I've gotten the basics once again. I'm not real confident about the situation, but also I have been robbed of my my 2 other drives here.
Hmm.
And because like all of that bullshit has been sort of stripped away, and all that's really left of me is somebody who really knows computers
Mm-hmm.
and is a lot smarter than she can let on to be.
Mm.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah,
Maybe next scene we're looking through some of the rooms further down.
Yeah. You guys are casing the room, room after room after room. There's not really much stuff.
Where did all the stuff go? Was
Moved
it
up by
packed?
a
Was it
damn
not?
robot, that's where.
Speaking of that, boom, boom, boom. You hear footsteps, very, very loud ones coming from the hallway. You guys are in separate rooms right now because you're all casing the rooms.
I'm just take a cue. This one over here. Front-facing camera. Just
See, I'm teaching you stuff.
You look out there. It's the bed robot. It now has human legs. They don't look right. They're not the right shape. They're not the right size.
They're not right.
Yeah, they're like 4 feet long each.
And pulled back into the room. Okay.
It's not walking very quickly, but it's walking pretty quickly for its size.
She's watching to see if it's actually peeking into rooms or if it's just going down the hallway.
It is. It scans, it stops, and it turns its head both ways with its one big human eye.
Janie is going to get in bed.
Okay.
And stays there for the rest of the game. And she.
Okay, we see Janie get in bed.
Janie's gonna get in bed. Literally just like.
I'm gonna say, because of where you are coincidentally in your mother's room,
Oh God.
and you're shaking, and
Yeah.
you pulled up the blanket.
Just like.
Brian, what is Ulysses doing?
I'm not getting robbed by that robot again. That's okay. I'm just gonna hide like behind the door and just like get back there in the corner and just like, nope, like hold on to my stuff.
You're
Like,
just like mush stuff. Mush stuff.
Of what are those things? Don't take my stuff. Okay, it's a thing.
It's fine.
It's a thing.
Okay, and now another shitty lullaby is playing. Mina, what are you doing?
I am in a room. It's already passed, or like it's it's one of
Okay.
those T-shaped rooms, and this is weird. And I'm not real. Like I'm not. I've been stripped of who I am, or the false face. So now I'm just curious. I'm going to try to creep up on the robot and see if I can get to its computer base at the back. Because all robots have a panel on the back.
There is a
that you
panel
can
on the
pop
back.
open and
Sure,
reprogram.
let's take a look at this.
That's totally a thing that can happen in all computers ever. So let's go with my stream. And I'll use my I don't have any super ego left. So we'll go with my 20 from ego. And I'm operating off of my baser instincts, just, my curiosity. So I'm actually going to take 25 from my id as well.
Okay.
Okay,
So that's 45 plus
45.
25 is 70.
Good. I knew that.
70. You can roll that.
I can roll that.
Do it.
Yeah, this is totally not going to suck. Fucking
83.
I'm so good at this game, you guys.
This is how I laugh when I'm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We never did determine the negative here. The negative aspect of the stakes.
Oh.
So
I'm climbing up on a fucking robot that's like murderous. I don't know. I think it just explains itself.
well, I'll say it's dark.
Mm.
It's very dark. And you see the panel. And because you got to do this quick, you figure whatever's in there, you just grab it and jerk some wires and it'll have to stop, right?
Right.
Yeah, they're not wires.
They're not
That's what it
wires.
is. Yeah, they're not wires.
It's veins.
It's definitely veins.
Yeah, and you grab some of them, and it's the black, viscous, icky.
I don't remember.
That you don't remember stepping in, but you've
In a
newly
higher
experienced.
sense, but it's definitely
But
a muscle memory.
You
let's say.
you get a flashback
Oh,
of the way that your feet feel.
okay.
Like we get a hazy view in the movie, a hazy view of your foot covered in the nastiness, and your character saying "ew" or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah, and so your hand's covered in this black sludgy slop, and you fall back on your tailbone.
Yes, I do. Okay, I'm gonna run.
Okay.
What's the doc doing?
The doctor is running down the hall, and the creature is following her.
Heroes don't get paid. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, she's saying like Nimukunai or something like that.
I'm not going to get paid by being a hero, but I will get one of those annoying phone calls again.
Okay. You get an annoying phone call.
Yeah, and I'm like,
hang up on them?
yep.
Okay. You hang up on the phone. The creature stops right next to the door, and it turns its head. And it can't step through the doors because it's very big. But what it does is it sort of extends one of its cot/arms into the room, and it's like sort of like reaching around with this large like spatula-like arm. And let's see how you fare.
Okay. Unwanted phone calls ahoy! Nope. Nope. Maybe.
Maybe.
Would that send you home, really? Would you have to go?
I have to go home. I think it's more of a control thing. Like I don't want to lose what I've got
Okay.
so far.
I can see it.
Now this is definitely going to be the super ego talking.
Okay.
I'm going for 25 on this.
Okay, so you're at 50 so far.
I'm going to go for 50.
All right, 50-50. That's not bad.
Good is that I obviously don't get detected.
Okay.
Bad is that, yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty simple,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Let's try it. Yeah, under 50, it's easy. Just not that easy.
Oh! That's an 80.
Yeah.
You rolling my dice for me?
I am, apparently.
Okay.
We got a lot of 80s going on here. Something.
So, you're like in a closet, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you go into the room, and you turn to the right, and there's a wardrobe-style closet. It's very small, because it's a Japanese thing. The rest of the room, there's a bed, and there's like an end table and shit like that. It swings the sort of spatula arm type thing left and right, and then it turns. And it turns upward, so the bed is upright, and then it smashes. And basically, the bed, the cot, turns into a sort of door, blocking your exit. It is locking you into the wardrobe. You guys hear this. Like, it slams. It sounds like a door slamming. And if you glance back, you see the creature, and it's sort of leaning into the room. Yeah, it looks awful. It looks awful, is what it looks.
The really covers over my head.
I don't know who shot me.
That's true. You have
So,
no idea.
Let's be a hero, right? I don't know I'm not a hero. Maybe I'm a hero. That's what heroes do. I'm gonna spin out your eyeballs, but I'm gonna leave you alive. Anyhow,
All right.
Oh wow.
It's busy in there, and I know that it's meat on the inside.
Uh-huh.
And if it can bleed, it can die. As
That's
we
good
all
logic.
know. As we all know. So, in my retreat, my tactical retreat,
Mm-hmm.
I was gathering something big and pokey, like what they have here for like if somebody comes to an elementary school and they don't want them there.
Oh
They
yeah.
have the man catchers,
Oh yeah, sure.
which are like big hooks,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and they technically take 3 people to operate, but I don't know that.
Also, Brian, I'm going to say you're at 30 core injury because it's like got you trapped. Like
Okay.
you're crushed pretty hard. For pacing, I think it works better.
Yeah.
So yeah, you grab a man catcher.
But I'm not going at it with the man catching part. I'm going at it with the other part, which
Yeah.
I intend to jam into the opening where I grabbed a whole bunch of veins and shit.
Okay, that's fine.
Because what could go wrong?
All right, go ahead and make a roll.
Sure.
I think that works.
Let's use my id, because this is just my lizard braid. My lizard braid.
My little boy.
My lizard braid.
It's my little boy.
And I have no personal stuff to pull on because, shit's real. And I'm gonna spend one of those thingies.
Okay.
And, yeah, 50-50 shot has worked out for us every single time.
It worked out for me this last
Lucky
time.
50-50.
Yeah.
And it's actually not, it's 45.
Oh yeah.
Bad amount. It's 45.
Well, that's an even better chance.
Right, that's even more.
Because 50-50 means that we tend to lose.
Right, so
Yeah.
obviously.
This is just statistics.
This is just statistics. 43.
So close.
You did it.
I did it!
You
I
did
know.
it.
It was
I know.
done!
Mina made a roll.
I made a
No,
roll!
this is good. This is
Okay.
good.
So
I was looking for like 46. I was
Yeah,
going to laugh so
you were
hard.
ready
like,
for that?
Okay.
oh, no.
You
I technically
impale the
done
thing. You're gonna do 10 conditional damage to it.
Okay.
And pin it. Or not like pin it, because it's really big, but
Right.
like you're gonna poke it really hard.
I
And
poked
you get
it.
one additional condition.
One additional
You could hurt it
condition.
more, or you can do something else.
I think that thing is buried real fucking deep in there. So we have ourselves kind of a handhold to be manipulated in the future. So like basically
Okay,
the
you
rod,
release it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I release it, but it is rammed in there. So
Okay.
we might be able to do something with that later.
Okay, next scene.
Next scene.
Okay,
Next scene. Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, it withdraws quickly. And it like sort of tries to reach behind itself, which is really awkward because its hands are beds. And it's like slamming around, and then it just like stops and is like thinking. And then it like charges down the hall. Like away from you guys. I'll call that scene, and Brian, let's make a stabilization roll.
Okay.
All you have to do is fail on 30%, so get higher than 30.
Higher than 30. That's totally easy.
Hey.
Yeah, that's easy.
Wow.
That's great. Okay, perfect.
I wish I'd gotten that. Well,
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I don't. I wish I
No,
got
No, the injury failed to take.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
Next scene.
Pulling out from under the covers.
Yeah, we'll give you a moment.